And then I gotta put on the Twitters and the tweets and stuff. The stream starts is immediately canceled. I'll be so pissed.
Yo, do the community guideline.
Okay. It's got like the red, what's that, the little red face YouTube logo with the...
I said,
sorry about that.
I said, what did you think this is? You think we about to let you talk about men's mental health on the goddamn YouTubes?
All right, Tate, chill out.
We don't even let you guys curse consistently. What are you talking about?
You can't even say
and then the audio just drops out. You're like, bruh, what is happening?
You're getting copyright strikes even though this is completely original content.
All right, let me put out my tweets and then class can be in session. I'll let the people start coming here and teach about
Let me go ahead and let me give you a retweet, man.
Yeah, let me put it up first. Let's see. This is for everyone to get in class, ladies and gentlemen. For those, we haven't started class yet. We're currently, there we go. Okay, the tweet's up. And then we got,
Wait, where's the link to your video, by the way?
It's on the tweet.
Oh shit. Oh, there it is. No, I clicked it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me get on the.
Apex is like the headband.
Hey, listen. I'm learning. I'm learning here. Okay. We gotta let them cook. We gotta let them cook a little bit.
Let them cook.
Let them cook. My guy wearing the dress shirt. Y'all so used to me in like chill outfits. All right, listen, I brought my book bag and everything. we're good to go here, okay? I'm trying to learn today. Definitely. Oh wait, I forgot to post in my server. That's what it was. I feel like, oh no. Actually, I can't post on the server because it'll mess up the video. We're not gonna do that. I'll just do it on my phone. That'd be easier.
I gave you the good old quote retweet.
We're gonna be out here today, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Yeah, no flies of the day, guys. We're learning, okay? I'm learning from Sensei about how to interact with women and be a
women and be the opposite side
and be a better and I'm gonna try to be a better male, okay?
I'm 100%
male.
male.
Lord Almighty.
I think I hate the most is that she pronounced it wrong first. It's a million thing. Bitch, if you don't say mammal like a human being. Oh. Never mind.
Hey, Navy. Hey, Ryan.
It's not a Navy.
We're already on a SpongeBob kick.
I need to go ahead and give you the not the Navy sound effect so you can use it.
That's true.
Cause that sound effect is gold.
Also,
how to not be a Scent 101.
Hey Nessa, hey Kuro.
Oh, and Nessa is here. Oh shit. Turn
it up.
Turn it up.
Listen. No. Oh. Okay, we'll give you one more minute, and then we'll let you officially we'll let you officially start the class, and then I'm gonna just give my brief introduction. Here's
your do nows.
Now listen, if you're someone who gets easily offended, get out. If you want to better yourself, take a seat.
No, if you get easily offended, stay in, because being offended is the first step to to acknowledging that something is opening your brain up to different possibilities.
Listen. Wait a minute, man. We haven't even. The class ain't started. Why are you out here cooking already? Relax.
I'm kidding.
Relax. Who told you?
I made that up off the top of my fucking head.
You can't be out here cooking this early, man. We ain't even got in here. Are you allowed to say simp? I allow the word, so yes, you were
I
allowed
think
to say.
on YouTube you can. I think on Twitch you can't. On Twitch you can say simp. You can't direct it towards a specific person because then it's labeled as cyberbullying, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But I get it. Whatever.
My question is incel on the same level? Like that's my question. If
I
it's
wouldn't even fuck around with that word.
oh my lord. Okay, so we're 5 minutes in. Ladies and gentlemen, just give context for what we're doing here in case the teaser skit that came out a week ago or the various tweet or the title of the video did not explain properly what this is. It is Valentine's Day and I suck at getting women, okay? And I need help. and because I need help, I figured I know an individual who was given a free class. Surprisingly, I'm surprised he's not charging for this. And I was trying to, and he was willing to give me some pointers and some tips of how to evade, how to navigate this thing called women in relationships. And he was willing to come on here graciously, I might add you, come in here and grace us with a lesson, okay? So I want y'all to provide your undivided attention for today's professor, for today's lecture, Mr. Tyrone TG3. We appreciate you coming out here on such short notice. I know you have a busy schedule, and I don't like to take away from it, but I appreciate your time and your willingness to help the less fortunate.
All right. Hey, good to be here. So, first of all, happy birthday to Prince Revolver's girlfriend. Prince Revolver said that it's your girlfriend's birthday. I don't even know if you need to be here then, Prince. You already got the game on lock. But nah, seriously. You could probably like back me up on this if you're already in a consistent, solid relationship. So, a lot of you all who are on the chat, or most of y'all who are men, or hell, women, and people who are just looking and the outside in on what to expect from a relationship, or just what to do. A lot of men, and we are mostly speaking with men here, mostly. So I apologize if you will feel isolated, ladies, but you can watch for educational purposes. It's always great. For men, a lot of men, and I think this is something that just really legitimately doesn't come up in society, is a lot of men experience like true loneliness. I'm talking like legitimate loneliness, especially during this time of year. It's where a lot of couples are getting together. I always even said the day after Valentine's Day, especially since social media is so prevalent now, is usually the worst one, just because the day after Valentine's Day is where all the posts go up of stuff that's been done during Valentine's Day, right? And
Right.
a lot of men feel left out. A lot of men feel legitimately lonely, and they feel like they're invisible. They're invisible in the world of the sexual marketplace nowadays. But why is that? Well, for several reasons. We have a lot of things put up against us, and I think the problem with the sexual marketplace is that it has turned so far against us as men that we aren't able to point in the right direction of what we need to look for, because sadly that messes up our selection, our natural selection. Natural selection obviously being the thing that allows us as people, not just men but women too, to naturally select and evolve and choose based on the best preferences. But obviously we live in a society and a world with several different other things outside of eating, shitting, reproducing, and surviving, right? And because of that, when we grow as people, we start to go, what are some things that we can add to this relationship to make it a lot more interesting than the basic animalistics, which is great, but it also comes with the double-edged sword. It comes with the, well, what are you allowing in your relationship? Because we as men, no matter how bad, no matter how far it gets with what has happened in the dating realm, guys genuinely still hold the key to furthering a relationship towards marriage. I mean, even to this day, I want to say about 85% of males are the ones that still propose, right? We're still the ones that propose. We're still the ones to ask the big questions. We're still the ones that primarily take have our last names be taken in order to continue on the lineage of said relationship. So, for example, if someone's last name is Henderson, then whoever gets married to Mr. Henderson is Mrs. Henderson, and thus the Henderson family continues forward. So we still carry the legacy of carrying on the family from one side to the next. But the problem is that nowadays it's very hard to just wind up being in a relationship with the way technology is. Not even blaming not even blaming. We'll just say the Backstreet Boys. Sorry, I wanted to change that word while you still got the time limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Backstreet Boys virus still out, and also the just the way social media has been recently, and as well as social interactions, it's just hard. It's just very hard and intimidating for sadly for a lot of men to go up and just straight up ask a woman out, or to talk to a woman, or to be socially around a woman. Me Too, the Me Too movement definitely played a big role in this as well too, because it made talking to women pretty much almost next to impossible in public standing points. It's like there used to be a time where you could legitimately have a couple who started off working at the same job, because that's where you spent 90% of your life was at work. You would go home only to, go to sleep. And as for men, that goes double for us because we were the providers. Well, what's happened? What happened to all of that? Well, obviously the world has changed, adapted, for better or worse. That's for you to decide. But it has changed in a way that has made it so work has become top priority in both male and female prerogatives and every gender in between. And it has also become a situation in which the internet has made things move very much a lot faster. A social standpoint of you just sitting down and communicating with someone has become nothing more than an extra trial, an extra mile that you have to walk in order to get to know somebody. But beyond the texting. So what do we do as men? What do we do? Well, I can tell you right now, here's some major things that we as men want to fix in our behavior before we even go out into the sexual marketplace in order to go out and date. The first big thing I think is to really have a goal outside of trying to get with a woman. I know that sounds weird. It sounds like, what? The whole point is for me to get a woman. I like women. I respect women. I want to be with a woman. I want a woman to be a girlfriend of mine to be with during hard times. Well, yeah, but the problem being is that we get so fixated on something that it unfortunately becomes a tunnel focus. And when it's the tunnel focus, it sadly will make things harder for you to obtain. There's a story about a guy who was told that if he could catch a falling leaf from a tree, that he can get $100. So what he kept doing was that he would keep reaching up in the air to try to grab the leaves. And what would happen is the force from his hand would cause the wind to move, making the leaf blow around his hand every time he tried to grab it. So he kept going and going and going and going. And then at one point, he decides to just stop and place his hands out. The hands in this situation being the structure, the shelter, the value, the resources, the equipment, everything you need. And the leaf at that point would just fall right into his hands, which was a lot easier. Why is it easier? Because when you chase something so hard, right? When you chase something and pursue it so hard to the point where you're ignoring everything else, then what you're chasing for becomes intimidated. It will move. It will generally move out the way. It's like if you're trying to catch a bunny or a squirrel or something, running after it's not going to do anything. It's going to be terrified. That's not going to work. However, if you hold your hand out, be silent, be patient, be welcoming, then the bunny will naturally come to your hand and go for the food that you're providing. Men are, and the comedian Dave Chappelle said it first, men are hunters. And the resources we bring are usually the things that help us get to that point. But you need to do it at a point where you're not hell fixated. And it's also unfair to women too. Like, because when you're fixated on a woman, she feels intimidated. She doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel comfortable when you're obsessing. Like, oh, I gotta find a way to get her, have her be mine. It sounds possessive. It sounds very like, oh, I have to get this woman at any cost, do whatever I can. And then that pursuit is going to cause her to be more nervous. It's going to cause her to be awkward. It's going to cause her to shield behind her friends. Hopefully, if she has male friends, she'll probably hide behind them. And that's one of the reasons you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the chaser. So that's rule number one is, guys, never be the chaser. Obviously, the other word we've caused for it is simps. We got $20. Let's go.
Thanks, Revolver. Appreciate it.
Yeah, keep your head up, Kings. Absolutely. You never want to be the chaser, fellas. Never, ever, ever, ever be the chaser. Because when you are the chaser, then you're not getting in anything. Nothing's coming in at it from that future. Because at that point, you're so hell fixated on trying to get this woman, trying to be with this woman. And I know, and it sounds simple enough. It's like, oh, well, if I chase after her, it shows that I care for her. It shows, oh, if I'm pursuing her, then it means that she feels loved, she feels validated. No, it doesn't. What that means is, it in her eyes or mentally, it feels like you're so obsessed with her that you have no goals of yourself, and thus there's no future for you outside of getting her. And because of that, when she looks at you, she goes, oh, wow, I really am the only top priority in this man's life right now. And at that point, she's like, well, after I'm with him, then what is he planning on doing? And if you don't have anything planned on it afterwards, then you just look like the fool. You got what you wanted, but no way in order to provide for the person that you spent so hard trying to pursue. And that's unfair to both you and her. Why should this woman go with you that you spent so much time chasing when you're not even going to have a backup plan for when you're finally with her? Like, it doesn't even make any logical sense. The second thing is and I know this is going to sound very, it's going to sound mean, and it's going to sound simple, but it's going to be the truth. Clean yourself up. I know. I'm sorry. This sounds terrible. And it also sounds very obvious. Oh, of course. Take showers every day and stuff like that. Obviously. Yeah. Do that. But think to yourself, what? I want to be the king of a castle later. What does a king do? What does a king look like in your eyes? And I don't mean an actual king. I mean a modern day man that is trying his best in order to get a woman. I can tell you right now, even I'm just using this from my past. Back in the day, all I would wear is the basic graphic tees and the jeans and some tennis shoes, and I think, oh, I'm good. You know, I'd rarely get like a haircut, or I'd rarely take care of my hair. I would just be like, I'm a guy. I can just comb my hair real fast and just go out and be good. No. Think about some extra things that you can do. Whatever you're doing, think about how you can improve it in some way, shape, or form. Look at the clothes that your peers are wearing. Look at the clothes that the men who are getting a lot of women are wearing. And I'm not saying get rid of your own style. You can still be you, but be you in a way that shows that you legitimately care. Half the reason that a lot of these clothes don't work so well to show off our bodies is we don't tuck in our shirts. We don't tuck in our shirts. We don't put our belts on. We don't put belts on. We don't tuck in our shirts. That can go a long way. That can go a long way. And I know it looks goofy at first because, I don't want to look like a nerd. No, what it does is when you tuck in that shirt, it shows off your entire build, which we'll get into the next one after that. Obviously, deodorant is a must. Brushing your teeth, shaving. And it doesn't have to be like a straight up shave everything every day. You can do like a little trim. What I do is I'll shave, I'll do a big shave after the end of each week. But during the week, I'll do like little clippings where I just cut like bits of the sides, parts that are slowly growing out. Stop sagging your pants. Absolutely, Prince Revolver. Always wear a belt. Absolutely. Pick your hair, even if you want it long, that's fine, but make sure you pick it at least. Make sure you have a some brand of cologne. Have some cologne. And you don't need to spray it down to the point where you become a physical toxic being. 1 or 2 spritz per day on a basic day is always good. If you're going to work every day, 1, 2, or even 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. The triangle. You want the cologne triangle. Just to cover the neck area and then near your armpits, right? Graphic tees is a no-no. People should dress up a bit more. It doesn't necessarily have to be a no-no. I'm not saying, and let me clarify here, I'm not saying dress to the nines every day. I'm saying at least care about your outfit enough to the point where it looks like you care. Because if it looks like you care, then the person that is you're pursuing will show that you care, right? If you're going out, and even if it's a casual day, and you see a woman you like, if she sees that you care, then that will go a long way, because then you'll look like you care, and then that essentially will help you on your way through. Yeah. Make sure you wash your hair, cologne, tuck in your shirt, wear a belt. All of these things definitely will help pave the way towards, towards what we're going towards. Also, you want to make sure, and this goes into the third thing for us as men. You want to be healthy / fit. You can put healthy / fit. Some men will prefer to be fit. Being healthy helps too, because it shows that you have discipline, right? Healthy / fit doesn't mean you have to be jacked, right, fellas? Yes, floss your teeth. Healthy doesn't have to mean you're jacked. It just means that you have enough discipline in a consistent workout routine to show that you care about your body. So that in and of itself will show, okay, good. This person cares about their body enough to, keep it up to date, to keep it clean, and to keep it fit. And that goes into that thing I talked about with the tucking in your shirt thing. The reason you want to tuck in that shirt is because if you stayed fit, if you stayed healthy, then it'll show out through your clothes. The problem is if we don't tuck in our shirt, the shirt just sort of flops down on our body. If you tuck in the shirt, if you notice, the shirt is actually built to be formed around that idea, because it'll form the way your body's shaped. Essentially, for as men, our initial bones and muscle structure, we're actually meant to be shaped more like a large triangle up top. Our upper body is supposed to be shaped like a triangle. And the best way to show that off, that's why you get the V at the bottom, the V towards your abdomen. And if you work out and you're relatively healthy, then when you tuck in your shirt and wear that belt, it's going to show off your entire form, right? So that's why you want to be healthy and show fitness. Now, obviously, everybody's body is built different. So you've got your ectomorphs, your endomorphs, your mesomorphs. So people's bodies are going to be built different, but the same bone structure and muscle structure still can form. So if you work out and you're healthy, then it shows that you have some level of discipline, and your body will start to shape in a way that you're a lot more proud of. And you'll know the difference. You'll definitely know the difference. You'll be, even if it's not a super hardcore workout, even if it's just a casual workout, your body will definitely feel less of that weight on its heart, on its lungs. You'll definitely be able to be a lot more mobile. Your skin will glow a lot more because now the body and the blood can focus on different parts of your body. Drink water. Drink water. Drink water. Always. If you can, drink at least, hell, I want to say drink about 3 to 4 glasses of water a day. 5 if you can. Drink water, because that's gonna help a lot. And I say that as I'm drinking wine. You can have your occasional drinks, obviously. But I wouldn't be so hell-bent to be stuck on like sodas and alcohols. Juices and waters are going to be your main route here. Is drinking water and juices are going to be your main thing to help with vitamin intake and water. Things that have a purpose, right? And it will show. It will definitely show. It'll help for us men, it helps with our hair growth. It helps with hair growth. Your hair will actually be a lot darker because because it's not fading as much. It'll be less dry because when your hair is drier, it starts to be brittle and it starts to cause that itchiness and it starts to cause that shagginess that you don't want. So even if you do shave, it's just gonna look like a mess. But if you drink more water, it'll smooth itself out. The hair will be a lot fluffier and smooth itself out a lot more. And then last but not least, this is the fourth one, just for the man and what you want to do here, just to better yourselves. How much ounces is considered a glass? I want to say 8.
Yeah, I thought it was 8.
It's about 8. I want to say about 8. But yeah, for the fourth thing, when it comes to men, we need to be decisive. Be decisive. Be decisive. Technically, you can put be decisive / confident because the two technically go hand in hand. But I'm pressing decisiveness more because I would assume most of the men that are watching this are, and obviously there are ladies watching too. I haven't ignored you, but the men that are primarily watching this as a class course, your idea is that you want to be a leader. You want to be a leader. You want to lead your family. What's up, Crispy?
Hi, Crispy.
You want to lead your family, and in order to do that, there is never a such thing as an indecisive leader. An indecisive leader will get you killed. I'll say it again. An indecisive leader will get you killed. If you ever flew a plane and your pilot goes, this is your pilot speaking, we're supposed to stop for fuel, but I'm not really sure if we should or not. I'm weighing my options. You are dead. You are dead. Would you trust that pilot? I would. Men, be decisive and confident, but be decisive. Be decisive. That means when it comes down to what should happen, or let's say we get into a situation where a lot of men will go, oh, there's this lady I want to ask on a date and I'm not sure how to ask. Oh my God, what do I do? First of all, don't ask. I know that sounds very weird, but the reason I say don't ask is because when we ask, we put pressure. It's a lot easier to make it a suggestion. Make it a suggestion. Because when you make it, and obviously you have to build some form of conversation first before just asking. Don't be weird. But it has to be in a form of suggestion. Instead of saying, oh, I like this girl, and we've been talking for 3 weeks. I think I might ask her on a date. Hey, so I noticed that you like pizza and I like pizza. Would you go with me to the pizza parlor in 2 days? Absolutely not. I would say no to that off rip. When people are asked, would you like to, like that, it puts this weird level of pressure. It puts this weird level of pressure. No matter how long you've talked to them, it puts an awkward level of pressure. If I say yes, this may happen. If I say no, then I might make that person feel bad. Oh God, what should I do? Or they might press it off. Let me get back to you on that. No. So what you want to do, instead of asking like that, try giving it as a suggestion. Give it as a suggestion. Hey, we've been talking for about 3 weeks. Notice we both like pizza. I found this great pizza place around my street. Let's go to the pizza parlor in about 2 days. That'll be Tuesday. And let's go at around 6 o'clock p.m.
I just want to interject real quick.
Go ahead.
I think a good example of it, and I saw it. It's a movie with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. It's called
Hmm.
The Tourist.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she's like, invite me to dinner, Frank, and he's like, would you like to go to dinner? Ladies don't like questions.
Oh, definitely not.
Um, what was the way he's like, let's go out for dinner. Too demanding. Let's go out for dinner. Another question. I'm having dinner. If you care to join me. And it's like, oh, that's it. It's a nice mix of where you're not being
Right.
too aggressive, but you're still you're
It
still
shows what it does, and that example is great because it's like, I'm having pizza. Won't you join? What that does is show that you already have your mind set on something. And she will like the idea that you are already decisive. You already have an idea of what you want. You already have a mindset. You already have your goals oriented. And the reason I said put a date and time already is because usually if you ask and they say yes, then two other questions follow up. What day? What time? The problem with those is that if you say anything that's remotely wrong, then it can turn into a problem. What day? Wednesday. I'm usually free on Tuesdays. Well, what time? 6. I'm usually free after 7. The reason I said give a date and time already is because even if they decline it, then just go, okay, that's great. Just let me know. The reason this works so well, the reason that this is the key, is because what it does is it respects the idea that she said no. She's not offended by denying that time, but she still respects your idea of giving her the open doorway to let her know. It invites the invitation. It invites the suggestion that she can try again, and thus she'll be more prompted to talk with you again on that subject matter. It feels less awkward on both parties is what I'm saying. Because it's like, that's okay. Just let me know. What this does, it opens the doorway. It goes, hey, it's cool that you said no. And then she doesn't feel as bad for saying no and that suggestion. It's cool that you said no. I'm still available. Then she's like, okay, well, I feel bad for not committing to that. My life's just so busy. How about we, boom. Now the ball's in your court. She's asking you. How about we try it Wednesday? Don't immediately go into it. Just go, Wednesday seems kind. You know what? Let's try Wednesday, and if anything comes up, I'll let you know. See, now what this does is that it puts the ball in your court. Now you're the decider. Now you can figure this out, which you can do Wednesday. You just gotta make it seem. You just gotta make it seem in a way to where now you've leveled the playing field enough to where you respect all sides. She doesn't feel awkward. You don't feel awkward. Nobody feels pressured, and you got the date that you wanted in the first place. You won. Congratulations. But those are the 4 things. For the 4 tips for men is to never be a chaser, personal hygiene, health and fitness, be decisive. Don't hound her. Exactly. Don't hound her. The reason I said don't immediately say yes to is because that's a little intimidating. It'll scare her a little bit. Now that I've talked about that, and I wanted to make that very clear because I didn't want this to just be a one-sided conversation. I made the tips for men. Obviously, you guys in the chat can take those notes if you want. But the tips for men are obvious. Never be a chaser. That means don't try your hard. Don't dedicate everything to pursuing a woman. This also includes little things like social media. I often say don't leave a bunch of like heart comments on like Instagram photos or Facebook or Twitter photos. Don't press the heart button a lot. Don't like too much. The reason you don't want to do these things is because you don't want to be the one that she always sees under that. because she'll just see you as another person that's doing the exact same thing everybody else is doing. The goal here is to differentiate yourself from the crowd, and you don't want to be a part of the same pile of sheep that's doing the exact same thing. Gosh, you're pretty. Gosh, you're pretty. Gosh, you're pretty. Gosh, you're pretty. Gosh. She hears that every day. Don't keep giving her that. Don't do that. Don't give her this standard validation for essentially just being pretty. That's stupid. Don't do that. Because then you're no different than every other guy that's doing the exact same thing. Be aloof. And that doesn't mean be mean. Don't be an asshole. But don't give in so quickly. Because the moment you do, she'll see you as the same guy that everybody else is, and you'll just be a part of the sheep that are flocked. And it's harder to find a flock of sheep versus the black sheep, right? The one that's being the outcast, that's the different one, the one that's not giving in, right? So personal hygiene, like I said, brush your teeth, floss, comb your hair, whatever your hair does. Go to the barber at least regularly, and if not, learn to cut your own hair at least to a degree to where it looks like relatively that you keep yourself up. And as men, we got it easier. Sorry about that. As men, we got it easier. We don't have as much maintenance to do on ourselves as women do. Women have far more maintenance by a long shot when it comes to their hygiene. That's why when women say that they need to be in the bathroom to get freshened up, that takes so long, is because they just got more shit going. So for us as men, the least we can do is hold up our end of the bargain and respect personal hygiene as well. Health and fitness. The reason I say health and fitness, like I said again, is that it shows that you have discipline, which is an attractive trait. 2, it shows that you care about your body and it's good and you can live as long as possible. Well, not long as possible, but you can live as long ideally as the human body is meant to live. 3, it will show that you are shaped. It will show that you cared. It will look nice. You want to look nice. How can you expect to be like, oh, this woman looks super good. She looks super attractive. She looks beautiful. She looks like a queen. She looks like all this. And you look like a slob. How does that even translate, right? You can't, like, equivalent. If you know anything about Full Metal Alchemist, then you know equivalent exchange. If you want to give something of equal or more value must be given in exchange, right? So you gotta do yours in order to get yours. Do yours to get yours, right? And then be decisive. This shows that you can be a leader. This shows that she can depend on you to make the big decisions. This shows that she can count on you for the big things. Now, another thing that we're going into now that we've discussed that, is going to be the women to look out for. Now, obviously, I want to make a huge disclaimer here. This isn't labeling every woman on the entire planet Earth. I'm going to say this again. This doesn't label every woman on the entire planet Earth. What this is that I'm about to do is a named category for the types of women that can be seen genuinely based on same pattern behaviors. It's just like saying someone's a gamer. It doesn't mean that every guy on the planet who's ever picked up a video game in their goddamn life is a gamer. It means that there are guys who are dedicated to video games a lot, or girls, and they can be classified or labeled as gamers, but that's not their personality. What these are labels that were made in order to help the genuine idea so that you as a man can know what to look out for. And the reason this is important is because this can give you a sense of what to do, or to the very least what to avoid, so that you don't wind up picking the same wrong person every time. Because half the problem is, with some men, they get in relationships and they wind up with women that unfortunately follow these specific traits, and they get upset because these women are screwing them over. Again, clarifying, this isn't every woman on the planet. These are just traits and patterns that are seen by some women, that are repeated on a genuine scale, that when seen enough in a pattern can definitely be glued to as a genuine trait. So let's break them down. I've called these, and I dub, the 4 horsewomen of the modern feminism apocalypse. The reason being, and I make sure to say modern feminism, not the original term. The original definition is for women to have equal rights as men, and there's nothing wrong with that. Women deserve equal rights just like men because we are all human beings on this planet together. Kumbaya, we hold hands. Modern feminism is the forwarding belief that some women are having nowadays, and I say some. I'm going to nail that down so there's a difference. Some believing that they are better and or superior to men by all means, or that men are toxic or dangerous just for simply existing, right? That is what modern day feminism has brought upon. Now, and I call them the four because there's four to look out for. The first one technically is the least harmful, but still harmful to herself. This one is the entrepreneur. Now, the entrepreneur isn't a term for an actual entrepreneur. I mean, we all know the definition of the term. The entrepreneur is usually, by definition, is a person who starts their own business, a business starter, a Kickstarter, if you will.
Ooh.
But in this, I am toxic though. But yeah, I'm reading Prince's thing. Anyway, the entrepreneur is a term that I have dubbed this because it fits under this category. This type of woman, and genuine pattern, general pattern, not in like a broad stroke where it means everybody. This type of woman is the woman that is too busy. Too busy. Way too busy. Every time you try to ask this woman out or try to get this woman to go out with you, it's, oh, I can't do this. I have a meeting at 3 or blah, blah, blah. I can't do this. I'm just so busy. You tried to ask this woman out a million times. And at this point, it doesn't work. Why? Because she's so busy. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I have a family thing to do. Oh, I have a this. Oh, my boss wants me to do this. Oh, I'm doing an overtime shift. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I can't. Oh. The reason this is a problem is because you, as a guy, are not a priority. Not to her. And this is the very same woman that when she hits around 40, she will stop and go, well, where are all the good men? You delayed them all. You kept telling them that you were too busy. You've been busy for 40 years, and now you're looking back going, well, damn, where did they go? You're constantly busy. Often these are the type of women that wind up in their girlfriend groups, and they'll go, and the girls will be like, how come you don't have a boyfriend, girl? And she'll be like, oh, I just haven't had the time to settle down with a guy, or, oh, I've got too much going on my plate. Oh, yeah, have you ever heard that term? I just gotta have too much going on my plate right now in order to get a boyfriend. Yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem. It's like, this is the type of woman. And Sir Mel, yeah, Sir Mel, I do agree with you. Sometimes they use that term as a way to show that they're not interested. But in the day and age that we have now, you will actually see that they are legitimately busy. I live right next to a college campus. I live next to it. Like, it's literally right across my street. You can see it now if you looked outside my window. I live next to a college campus, and every day I look outside, I can see tons of women walking the campus, right? Because I'm driving to work, and I can see them walking across the street to get to their classes. And they all have that same, like, laser-focused face that is also combined with this level of uncomfortness. And the reason that it is because when I was in college myself, I would talk to, like, a lot of my female friends, and I'd be like, what's wrong? Or what's going on? Like, they'll just be like, I'm stressed. I got this class, and then I got this class, and then I gotta write a report on this class, and then I got homework after that, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and then I gotta. Have you taken time to take a rest or a break or a nap? Oh, no, I don't have the time for that. I just... You can see it. Stress doesn't have to be verbal, but you can always see it. It's nonverbal stress. And I see it all the time outside of that college campus. You look around and you see that they are so connected to a future ambition that either they have made themselves or their family has locked onto them on the belief that they need. And there's nothing wrong with someone who wanting to be goal-oriented. I want to clarify that. There is something wrong, however, when you let that goal take over your life. There is something wrong when you let that goal take over your life. And then there's definitely something wrong when you let that goal take over your life and then sit back and ask, well, where'd all the men go? You can't blame them. You said no. You were the one that told them no because you were too busy. You can't then blame the men for not being around. How is that fair? That's not fair to us. That's not fair to men. You can't say, wait. You can't say, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. I'm busy. And then go, well, I can't, then at age 40 go, well, I can't possibly understand how in the world all these men just didn't talk to me, or no men have talked to me. They've been talking to you. You've just been too busy. That's the problem. You pushed them off. So that one's a danger in and of itself. I'll leave if you care for someone, you always find a way. That's the Nessa, that's the utopian belief. But the thing about a utopian belief is that it's completely in utopia. It's a the world. Nessa, your quote that you just said is what I like to call, well, the world should move like this, but it don't.
It's the optimistic route.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the positive pursuit, which I respect, but you have
reality.
to root it in reality. Yes.
Gotcha.
Right. Let me move on to the next one. This one's the direct opposite of the entrepreneur. This one's the sloth. The sloth. Ooh, this one. The sloth is pretty bad. So the sloth is a woman that genuinely, while the entrepreneur was too busy, the sloth has done nothing. Like nothing. The sloth has proceeded to eat junk food all day, watch Netflix, Hulu, or whatever fucking stream system exists at this moment. And they sit around, they do the bare minimum, and even if they wind up with somebody, they still do the bare minimum. And then they look back and go, well, damn, where'd all the men go? Or they'll get too lazy. Like, literally, these are the ones that'll post online, I wish I had a boyfriend, or, oh, I wish I had a man that would do this. I wish I had a man for this. I wish I had a man to do this. Oh, I don't want to get up and do these things. I wish a man would do them for me. But at the same time, what are they doing? They're sitting around binging She-Hulk or some shit. I don't know.
It's quality television. Come on, man.
And they're eating snacks all day, getting unhealthy. And then they sit back and go, well, where'd the men go? At age 40, they're going, well, where'd the men go? Well, the problem is, you didn't do anything. And then if they wind up getting a boyfriend, they literally do the bare minimum. These are the ones where you'll come home and no cooking and cleaning aren't requirements for just women. I cook. I love cooking. But a household needs multiple hands. It is very stressful to take care of an entire house by yourself and still go to work. So whatever hand you can lift would definitely help out. The last thing you want to see, anybody, male or female, is when you come home and literally nothing is done and your house is slowly but surely dissolving into a muck of chaos. So the sloth will do literally the bare minimum, no matter what your needs are and your particular relationship. And they'll do them with such apathy. They'll even put them off. Babe, it's a good night. Would you like to, I'll use a censor word for it to make it YouTube friendly. Would you like to, it's a blanket hug. We'll call it blanket hug for now.
Give me the blanket, babe.
Yeah. Would you like the blanket hug? Oh, not tonight, baby. I'm tired. I'm tired. And then the next day you try, or a week from now you try. Hey, it's a good night. I'm feeling some type of way. Would you like the blanket hug? Oh no, I got a headache. Okay. Well, what about now? Would you like you wait a week from there? Oh no, I'm just not in the mood. And then now look at you. The bare minimum is just your request for some blanket hug. And they can't even do that. The bare minimum. The sloth. And then they go, well, why did he leave? Or why did he, dare I say, cheat? Well, you did nothing on your end and expected it to hold out. And guys, you never want to be that one that is so caught up that, unfortunately, you just, no, Cosmic, you're not a sloth. And I can explain that why in a different, in a call later. But you just never want to be, for ladies, you never want to be that one. And for men, you don't want to date a sloth. Don't date a sloth. Don't talk to a sloth. You'll know the sloths when you see them. The third one is the challenger. Ooh, this is the second most dangerous one. So get ready, fellas. The challenger is the argumentative type. The challenger is the argumentative type. The argumentative type. This is the one that will cause you hell. No matter what, this is the one that will challenge you and not in a good way. This is the one that will literally argue with you because they have what I guess women are calling alpha energy or boss bitch energy. I don't know what the hell this shit's called. I just know it's stupid. Challengers will argue with you. You can make any request. You can make any suggestion. And here they come going, well, I don't see why I have to, No. You don't want that. Imagine that pilot analogy that I gave earlier. If you have a pilot and your pilot is flying the plane and the pilot's like, all right, we're going to land in San Diego and then just to make a pit stop so that we can get fuel. And then we're going to go off to, I don't fucking know, California. I don't even know. Please don't graph this on a map. I'm just making an example. But if the pilot said, okay, we're going to stop at Ohio and then we're going to pick up fuel and go to California. And then the co-pilot goes, well, now hold on. We don't need to stop for fuel, do we? It says we have plenty of fuel here. That's great, but I want to just make sure we're safe. Okay, yeah, but then you're going to waste so much time and they could be in California. Yes, but I want to make sure they're safe. Yeah, but then you can save so much more time so that we can... You see the problem with... You see the whole problem with that? A good co-pilot would go, oh, okay, we're stopping for fuel. Cool. Let me go ahead and let the others know that we're stopping for fuel. Let me communicate with the base to let them know that we're landing down to their airport so that we can pick up fuel while you go ahead and land the plane. Bingo. Non-challenger situation. A challenger would challenge you on it. Now it's a problem. Now it's an issue. Now it's a whole thing. It's an argument. It's stressed. It's awkward for most people. It's bad. You don't want a challenger. A challenger will literally argue with you even if you're right, but they know that they're wrong, but they don't want to admit they're wrong. A challenger will argue you just because of the way you said something versus whether or not it's right. These are the people that will get mad because you said 2 + 2 is fucking 4 instead of 2 + 2 is 4. It doesn't matter that it's right. It matters because, oh, it's the way they said it or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not, you don't want this. The number one thing that men want in the world is peace. And I don't care what type of guy you are. The number one thing that men want in the world is peace. And the biggest thing that messes that up is an argumentative person. Imagine if you were driving a car and somebody in the passenger seat goes, scoot over. What do you mean scoot over? I'm going to drive with you. So while your hands are on the steering wheel, my hands are also on the steering wheel. And while your foot's on the gas pedal, I'll put my foot on the gas pedal as well. No! We'll crash if you do that, idiot. If we're both driving the car at the same time, that's 4 arms instead of 2. That's 2 feet instead of 1. It's so much in the driver's seat. This is a problem. So no, Challenger is the second worst one. The other 2 were bad, but they can at least have levels of discipline that can like help mitigate that. Self-discipline. But this one, the Challenger is literally just, you gotta humble yourself. That's the only way you're getting past this one. Last but not least, and we're gonna get into some deep dark ones out here. Last but not least is the most dangerous one. And this is the one that gets most simps in trouble. This is the one that will lock you in. This is the one that has destroyed most men and ended some men's careers. This is the one that will more than likely, if you work at a job, get you fired. The succubus.
Fuck no, baby.
Succubus. The name comes from the ancient lore of the succubus. The succubus is a creature that is a demon who is disguised as a very sexual lady, so that she can allure men in only to take their souls later, or eat them, or whatever folklore you decide to go with. What is this in real life, you may ask? Well, I'm about to tell you. The succubus is, in modern day, the type of woman that will post pictures on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They are also sometimes, but not always, sometimes they are OnlyFans models. And sometimes, and this isn't to degrade women who actually do, you might want to bring your notes down a bit because there's some.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. This isn't to degrade females that are Twitch streamers, because obviously we have a lot of successful, humble, awesome female Twitch streamers, so we're not going to discredit them. But there are some, because for every good there's a bad. There are some female Twitch users that abuse their level of sexuality presence and will use it in order to draw men in. Why? To take away their valued resources, aka the e-girls, the ones where it's like they squeeze their big old titties together and go, if you donate, then I'll shout your name out, senpai, ooh woo, blah blah, and I'll give you my bathwater or some nasty nonsense like that. These are the women that have argued in the past, which is why now in this day, I'm sorry to stumble over myself, some succubus have become challengers as well. They've gained the challenger trait as a part of it. But succubus, or succubi, have become the women that have argued the stance, it's okay to sexually express yourself, man. No, it ain't. Not if you want to be in a relationship. And the reason that I say this is in a relationship is because these are the type of women who will get with men, date men, or get male friends, and then continue to flaunt what they have so much to the point where they get confused and they go, wait a minute, how come you don't want me showing these off like that? Because I don't want to deal with that level of risk. As a man, as a leader of my family, and as someone who is meant to protect and provide for you and give you the best life that you can, how is it fair for me to be with you and you are still on Instagram showing your booty hole?
Dang, the whole booty hole?
The whole booty hole.
Dang.
All of it.
Oh my.
With 37,000 likes and comments.
Oh Lord, no.
How is it fair? Make it make sense. It's not. It's terrible. And what this also does is that it invite the succubus can also be in the form of the women who invite male attention for nothing more then they bring men in, but they don't want to deal with the consequences of that attention. When they bring in the male attention, they're bringing in, oh, I just want male friends. I just want male friends. I just want male friends. But I can't let anyone know I have a boyfriend, or, oh, I can't have a boyfriend. Why? Because this allows them to have male friends that will do boyfriend activities without being a boyfriend. Ergo, men, you know this term as well as I do. The friend zone.
Oh God. Oh God.
The friend zone is bad. You don't want to be in the friend zone. And the reason for this is because men that are doing this are men that are going to be staying up at like 3 a.m. listening to her woes about her ex-boyfriend that she chose over you. And then her making suggestions of what she can do to get another boyfriend that's not you. Until all the way up until about 40, when looks and shit have gone down and age has kicked in. Now she's going, well, hey, you would you like to be? No, because at this point you've become a last priority. You are bottom barrel picks. And you never want to be bottom barrel picks. The succubus is dangerous because the succubus will, in theory, go out and do all sorts of ratchet shit. And if you make any suggestion to go, well, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this. Well, you can't say that you don't feel comfortable with me doing these things because I did all these things before you started. So you knew what you were getting into. But blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. See, the problem is that stuff was great when you were living a certain lifestyle. You're not. For example, if I was a guy and I was like, yeah, I'm out here doing all sorts of drinking and drugs and all this bad shit, right? And then you finally go to a woman, you marry her, and you have kids. Can you go out and start drinking and doing drugs again? Not really. I mean, you could, but it's not well advised that you do because it's not going to be good for your family. There's things that change when the situation changes. So when ladies go out and they realize, oh, I have a man, then certain behaviors are going to have to change. And that is fair. It has to be fair because you're starting a family. The idea is that you're starting a family, and it's impossible to do that if you're stuck to the same old habits. In order to grow, you have to adapt. You have to evolve. It's just like the hermit crab. If a hermit crab has to grow, it can't grow if it doesn't change its shell. If it sticks with the same shell, then it'll be cramped into the shell that it was in the whole time. Can't grow. Needs a bigger shell. Means it needs to make changes. You gotta make changes. So if you go for a woman that goes, I got a boyfriend, but spring break, hot girl summer, woo! Nope. 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 Don't invite this behavior at all. And these are the ones to look out for, by the way. I just pointed out these are the ones to look out for. To go into the ones, as a quick recap, again, entrepreneur, woman that's too busy, sloth, woman that doesn't do anything, challenger, woman that argues for the sake of arguing, succubus, woman that freely expresses herself sexually but doesn't want to deal with the consequences of being a girlfriend, right? Boom, all four of those. And all of these, and just to reiterate on that succubus thing, because I know it's a heavy one, I mean, it goes along without saying is like actions that you have responsibility. If you want to go out and be that hot girl summer OnlyFans model that you want to be, then go live your life, queen. I'm not saying don't do that, but you can't expect the exact same results. You can't expect the same results as a woman who is not doing those things. You just can't. You can't pop your titty out every day for the world to see, for the entire World Wide Web to see, and then go, wait a minute, how come guys aren't looking at me like they look at the girls that they actually date? How come they only see me for one thing? Well, you're the pop titty girl. Remember? We know you from the World Wide Web. We know you from the interwebs.
What if we pop the titty like every other day? Is that
Then I
tolerable?
think you're a bi titty.
You're pop titty man. Yo, Can we need to patent that one right now. Like, if you buy titty bitch.
Damn it! Oh my god, my glasses.
Let's go.
Got me in mid like you bad titty bitch.
Oh no.
Oh my, the bi titty bitch. Oh my god.
They got bisexual. Nah, I'm bi titty man. That's what I identify as.
Alright, so you're probably thinking, Tyrone, you just gave a lot of 4 very harsh categories here. Which again, I really want to clarify. Not every woman in the entire fucking planet are these. These are just examples I'd name because these are common traded behaviors that are seen so commonly that they have prevented men from getting girlfriends, or they have prevented girlfriends from getting from being wives, or they prevented girls from being girlfriends, right? But there are solutions, and there are 4 types of women that you do want to look for, or 4 traits that you definitely want to look for in the type of woman that you want to pursue. Now, again, these aren't all genuine. These are just 4 because the rule of 3 and 4 is that 3s and 4s are easy to remember. And these 4 are, I call them the 4 heavenly H's. Why? Because H and heavenly begin with H. And there's 4. First off is the one that kind of fits with that men thing I gave earlier for number 3 for tips for men. It's healthy. Healthy. You want someone who is healthy. I mean, obviously, if you want to have a healthy relationship, you want to be healthy yourself. So you're going to look for a healthy partner. A healthy partner. I want to stress that enough. A healthy partner. That usually means fit too, but I'm going to say healthy for the sake of safety. Healthy. As in, you can have the occasional snacks and pizzas and junk, but not every fucking day. Like, they got to have some level of health to them. Eating diet, like a diet plan, like a form of health. Something to show that they care. Because if you don't care about your body and they don't care about your body, you nor your partner don't care about your body, then that's going to lead to some unhealthy shit. And that's going to lead to some unhealthy habits. Things that are going to cause problems for both of y'all. So healthy. That's what you want to look for in the woman that you're looking for. The second H, humble. You want someone who's humble. I see so many of these comments every time. And I've heard this word before, like the number system. Everybody's familiar with the number system. Rate yourself 1 to 10. 1 being the ugliest, 10 being a hot, beautiful, right? And I see so many people say this. Every girl's a 10, or all girls are 10s. I think every lady here is a 10. Oh, woo, we're all 10s.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No. No.
Fuck no, baby.
That is a level of you don't want to be in that range, because humbleness shows that you can always get better. Never stop and sit up and say, does healthy mean weight-wise? Genuinely speaking,
it can be both. It can be both.
It can be both. It can be both. But genuinely, when you're eating healthier, you typically lose more weight.
Well,
that's
also,
the idea.
No one wants a toxic woman that gaslights you.
Exactly. And obviously, like I said, like when it comes to weight, you want to make sure you're at least at a healthy range. Like that. That's pretty much goes without saying. Hell, I said healthy as a broad term because I know everything sort of trickles down with it. If you're healthy naturally, and you're healthy and you work out naturally, your body will form into that. So and then I say humble because I've always felt that term where every woman is beautiful and every woman has nothing more to work for. No, that's a terrible phrasing. If I was a teacher, I mean, if I were to give everybody in this chat a test right now, And everybody did answer different questions. Everybody answered it with different rates at different speeds. And everybody passed in their papers. And I gave everybody a 100% score. Don't you think something wrong would be with that? Wouldn't you raise an eyebrow? Wouldn't something be a little off? Don't you think that'd be a little weird? Huh? And then ladies will say, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we're just all great and we're all beautiful. Well, the problem is that means you have nothing to work on. Saying you're perfect the way you are to me is a blatant insult. Because, what's up, Joker? They can be beautiful on the outside and on the inside. I know that for a fact. Exactly. Like, saying that you're perfect is terrible because it means that you're not on the pursuit to better yourself. It means you're never going to try to work to be anything more than what you are right now. And the world hates limits. If we all lived in a world of limits, then we wouldn't have what we have today. Everything we have today is because somebody said, I can do it better. Right? So you want someone who's humble. You want a lady who's humble. Appreciative and cooperative women are a blessing. Exactly. Babe, I know I flubbed on this, but I can always get better and I want to be better. You definitely want humble. The third one, and I know this is going to sound like, why is this here? Shouldn't this be a natural? You would be surprised. Heartfelt. The third H is heartfelt. Genuine translation, you want a woman that's nice. This is hard to believe, but for the average man, generally there's not a lot of nice women. There's not. Women that are genuinely nice. You'll find them. They're not impossible to find. They're there, obviously. They're definitely there. The problem is that what I see a lot is selective niceness. I'll be nice for this guy, but not this guy. Generally, the average man is invisible to most women, actually. The average man is invisible. Heartfelt means that you acknowledge somebody and you're going to be a decent human being to them. You are genuinely caring. You show to be nice. You have them in your thoughts. If anything were to ever happen to you, they're the first one there to call you to say, are you okay? Babe, are you okay? Or how's your health? Or how are things going? If anything happens, please call me or text me. These are the ones that let you know that you are being thought about. One of the things that men appreciate most in women is when men are thought about. Because it doesn't happen a lot. For us men, it does not happen a lot. We are not. Hell, you can see it in the holidays that we fucking celebrate. I made this joke yesterday with some friends at in the Discord chat. But look at Mother's Day versus Father's Day. Look at the genuine level of care that Mother's Day has compared to Father's Day. The gap difference is astronomical. Astronomical. Just to know that you are being validated for, that you are being cared for, that your efforts are recognized, that you are being appreciated for your work. No one wants someone who's nitpicky, where it's like, oh, I did this thing. Oh, well, you did this thing, but you did it kind of weird. And why'd you do it like this? And blah, 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 blah. I did this thing. Oh, I'm so glad you did that for me. Thank you so much. You really made my life a lot easier. I appreciate you for doing that. A world of difference that makes. A world of difference. And the last one is hospitable. You fellas want to look for hospitable. Hospitality goes a long way. And again, I'm going to clarify. Cooking and cleaning aren't the only forms of hospitality, and cooking and cleaning aren't limited to only women. That is a survival technique everybody can do. You can be hospitable in your own relationship in your own ways based on how you do things. But hospitality is a core. It is a core. Hospitality shows that, one, it shows that you care. So we go back to the heartfelt thing. And two, It shows that things are, as a man, that things are being done without you having to ask for them to be done, which counters that sloth thing that I said earlier. And it shows that you're being cared about even in times you don't even think about. Times that we sometimes even take for granted. Hell, it could be like, I'm going to start streaming soon, and like your girlfriend or wife sees that your equipment is all scattered on your desk. Well, she knows, oh, he's gonna have to clean this stuff off, then start a stream. Let me go ahead and clean the stuff off first and help him out so that he looks and his streaming table is already cleaned, and then he goes, good. That's already been done. Now I can focus more on the stream. A little can go a long way, right? Oh, he's boyfriend's coming home from work in like a few hours. Let me go ahead and make sure to do this for him. That way, when he gets there, it's already done and we're good on this standpoint. That way, once he gets done with that, he has some time to spend with me. It even benefits you. Like, hospitality is so freaking rare in this day and age, because most people have been taught that hospitality means that it's slavery or toxic masculinity. No, it just simply means you care for somebody enough to do stuff for them without being told.
So they don't want my money?
That everybody gets with somebody for their own reasons. But no one teaches women to be nice or respect men. We are taught at a young age to respect women, even if they don't respect us themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've learned that it's cool to have standards. It's kept me from getting involved with potentially terrible folks. Being picky isn't bad. It just means that you know what you want. Good manners, exactly. And yeah, these are things you genuinely want, because when you look for these 4 traits, because typically what we look for now is we look for, oh, she gotta look good. She's gotta look good, which looking good is good. It's a good first step. But sadly, we live in a world where looking good can be hidden behind a bunch of terrible traits: entrepreneur, sloth, challenger, and succubus.
Also, real quick, thanks for the donation, Navy and Revolver.
Hey, yeah, Navy and Revolver coming in with the 10. But
appreciate it.
But imagine if she looks good, and instead of those 4 traits that I named before, she's got the healthy, humble, heartfelt, and hospitable traits instead. Now you're looking in the right direction. And there's always going to be ways to figure it out. There's always going to be ways to figure it out from the moment you even talk to somebody and you look out as to what you need to say. Hell, one of the levels that we try to start in conversation, I've always stated, is the 3 what's, the how, and the why. Whenever I'm talking to somebody, or whenever I'm talking to somebody that I'm interested in, romantically or relationship-wise, I try to ask the 3 what's, the how, and the why to scope out exactly what their personality traits are. That way it gives me a genuine idea of who they are. What do you do? What made you decide to start doing that? What level of position are you in now in order to ensure that you do that? How are you pursuing that now, or how are you making sure that gets done? Well, why haven't you done this? Or why do you think that you need to do this? It gets so much out. Those 3 what's, a how, and a why. Just try it. And Terrell, I would suggest writing that down. Just try it. Just try that.
I ran out of space, Tyrone.
Sorry.
Hold on.
But just try it. Try the 3 what's, the how, and the why. Hell, I'll put it in the chat for you if you need me to.
Yeah, the only way unless I do a new page, and I don't want to get all this quality information. Hold on. Let's see if I can rip another page out. The fuck? This man's giving too many notes. I ain't think. Is this tested? Is this gonna be on the test, man?
3 what's, a how, and a why. I mean, it's the basic form of communication and it helps. But just because we're hitting the we're a little bit
20? We're a little bit over an hour.
Okay, cool. I think we're good there. Those are genuine things. If you guys, I know you guys had questions. I think if they had questions.
Yeah, I'd set up the Q&A. I don't know. For those who have questions, put it in the Q&A section. It should be at the top of the screen where it says questions for the professor. Let me see if what's in there now, actually.
Right.
Well, Cosmics is in here. Here's a question from Cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone, it's Cosmic. What category am I?
Uh-oh. Uh oh.
Oof.
Um
Oof.
Cosmic, technically, if we had to go into it, technically you don't really fit any of these.
Which
You don't, because
I guess that's important though, because
I mean, yeah, that's good. That means you're falling under the senses of what most guys would want to look for. But if I had to say a topic, like if I had to say a trait, you're kind of leaning in that you kind of lean towards the, I don't want to say the sloth because she's not lazy. She goes above and beyond. I would have to say the entrepreneur, which I want to clarify. Out of all of these, the entrepreneur is the least offensive. And the problem with the entrepreneur hurts themselves, and that one, the entrepreneur, sadly, is unfair to women. That one's mostly unfair to them, just mostly not just because men miss out on the chance to date them, but the entrepreneur's been given such a terrible hand, unfortunately, thanks to more than likely their mothers.
well,
Their
because
mothers, their mothers have screwed them over on this one.
what's also it's weird because what it really is, and it depends on your household, but a lot of women are kind of taught to be self-reliant at a young age, and part of the reason
Right.
why is depending on the household. Like for example, my household, the father wasn't around, so the woman essentially had to do two roles. You had to be the mother and father, and of course, their mothers not wanting their daughters to go through the same things are
Right.
like, well, you need to be strong. You need to be able to do all these things by yourself and become independent. The independent woman, as most people have heard it. What's the problem with independent woman? When you become an independent woman, what it somewhat translates to, you end up getting a lot of masculine qualities.
Oh, of course,
And
definitely.
it makes you more stable as a person, but it makes you less desirable as a woman.
Like, let's break it down. For example, when let's say your mother's been telling you for 30 years straight, oh, stick to your college, go to college, go to college. Don't pay attention to any boys. Oh, boys are a distraction. Boys are a distraction. Boys are a distraction. Stick to your schoolwork. Stick to your job. Get a PhD. Get a master's. Get a this. Get a that. Don't pay attention to any boys. Don't pay attention to any boys. Boys are the least of your priorities right now. Guess what they wind up doing at age 30? Where's your husband at, sweetie? You should have been married by this point. It disappoints me. Your sister has a husband at this point, and he's a doctor. How come you don't have a husband at this point? Well, you've told them for most of their lives to work.
And then punish
Quoting,
them. And then punish
quoting,
them for it.
quoting Fire Lord Rihanna from the Super Bowl. I am using recent events. This is dated now. But
it was gonna be dated in 2 years anyway. It's fine.
yeah. But you've been told so much to work that sadly it's been indented into your brain. And then the first thing the mother asks these daughters is, well, where's your husband at? Bitch, you told them to not pay attention to men for 30 years straight. You can't do that. You can't tell them to not pay attention to men and then at the same turn get at them for not having a man. That's bullshit.
But it happens a lot. And women are raised in these households like it's normal. So by the time they hit 30 or 35 and they're like, and then your mother has the nerve to be like, why are you still single? You told me to work on myself and be self-reliant.
And avoid men.
But I want grandkids. What the fuck? Why didn't you teach me how to get a husband then? Well, it was a different time. What? But see, that's what happened. That it's a double standard. And granted, that double standard works against men too. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
as society has changed, we are also in a society now that doesn't believe in traditional gender roles, or at least are
Right.
trying to move away from it. But the problem is women and men still tend to look at each other with those traditional roles in mind. For example, the
Right.
the independent woman still wants a man that makes more than her. Still wants a man
And I'm
to pay
like,
for everything.
Sorry. That phrasing alone still baffles me. I'm an independent woman, but I want a man to. independence in and of itself means you don't want at
What?
all.
Yeah, because the problem is like you're an independent woman and you're highly successful, but you still want to be like the traditional woman in the relationship in terms of being taken care of. But the man's now sitting there more confused because it's like, okay, back in the day when you were coming out of college and you didn't really have anything, fine, that made more sense. But you make like $100,000 a year, and you still want me to pay for everything?
Let's go back to the history of this all, because I said, and a lot of y'all are thinking, well, Tyrone, what are your views on this? Are you a feminist? In its original definition, yes, I'm a feminist. I am under the belief that men and women should be able to work. That is great. Productivity is always a plus for our society as human beings. And no one should ever be treated like cattle or goods or a piece of meat. Absolutely not. The greater of man good means that everyone is treated with some level of respect. The problem is when it comes to feminism, I am for the belief that women should work, but I am also for the belief that they should carry the responsibilities and consequences of said work. If you want to be a woman that's got her master's degree and is a boss bitch and wants to do everything to the tippy top of the alpha scale, do it. But don't look back and complain and go, well, I should be able to get all the things that men are getting just because I'm doing all of the great things that men are getting, but men don't look at me like that. Well, you decided to take the same route, which means that you're not going to get the same results simply because men and women are built differently.
It also boils down to you are now in a similar field that men are in, but what is the kind of man you're trying to attract? Like, what's the kind of man? And if that man wouldn't care for a woman like you, then you've screwed yourself. Because
it's like if you want to be the greatest doctor on the planet, that's great. That's your goal. But if you want a man, then you got to stop and think, well, what would he want? And if he doesn't want the greatest doctor in the world, then all you've done is put 100% of effort into something that's got nothing to do with it. That'd be like me saying, I deserve a dog. Well, do you have the responsibilities? Have you ever bought, do you know you need to buy dog food, Purina, dog food? Or do you know if you're investing in Chewy? No, I don't give a shit about dog food at all. In fact, the only thing I care about is being the #1 butter churner. What does that have to do with getting a dog? Oh no, I just want a dog because it's nice.
What? Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, you don't need it. A dog's gonna die if he's with you. I don't trust.
Now I wanna make sure we get to the other questions. So the next
let's get to the question. Yeah.
The next one I believe is from Navy. Would it be wrong to call out bad behavior in a relationship? Never happened to me before, just curious.
Yes. Call it out. Call it out immediately. Call it out. And that actually goes into some notes I wrote.
He's like, look at that. It came in handy.
I came prepared.
Oh no.
There's a thing in long-lasting relationships called being too comfortable. And this is gonna sound harsh, but I'm going straight into it. These are the three no-nos that happen in a too comfortable relationship. I wrote them all down. I'm so glad you asked this question, Navy. The three things that can happen in a relationship when the lady, more specifically, because I'm talking to men primarily. There are ladies in the chat, but I'm primarily talking to men. When a lady in your relationship is too comfortable, three things can happen. One, they can get bored. What this essentially means is they will get bored. This may lead to some of them doing things that they would think it'd be genuinely exciting. Going out and doing shit behind your back, cheating, going out to like do crazy stuff that you would have never done while you guys were together at the beginning. Just out of line stuff without any of your approval. Buying a pet without your approval, doing crazy shit to shake up your life without any level of compromise on your end, right? That kind of leads into the second thing. Gets disrespectful. Disrespectful means, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you'll see a couple that's been together for a long time, and they will argue in front of a group of friends, of their friends, and it gets so awkward. And the reason it gets awkward is because sometimes the woman will say some borderline disrespectful shit about her man. Like, yeah, it may be laid out like this. Your guy friends, her girlfriends, all in one spot together. You guys are eating or doing whatever. And then one couple will go, yeah, we're going to a trip next week. It's going to be fun. We're going to Boca. And then your girlfriend goes, oh, Boca sounds so nice. That sounds like that'll be a great trip. I wish we could go to trips like that, but my husband doesn't make enough. Or I wish we could go to trips like that, but my husband never wants to take me out to nice places like that. She will openly say shit, borderline, no, not even borderline, blatantly disrespectful shit about you, your resourcefulness, or your availability in front of a bunch of others as a level of discomfort, awkward discomfort that makes you feel bad, that makes everybody else question how you are as a leader, and ruins the aspects of a relationship for nothing more than to blatantly be disrespectful.
Well, and the kicker is the goal. I think I've always heard a woman say the goal behind that is to light a fire under their man's behind to get them to do better. But I feel like it's a little disrespectful because it also brings
it is disrespectful. There's no little about it.
It brings down a man's mental health, which I know isn't as pushed upon in as much as females' mental health, but it is just as important.
Oh, the availability to protect and provide means so much to us. Even for guys in the chat that may think, I don't think it's that. It is. It is. Don't believe me? If you ever saw a woman walking down the street and some creepy guy came up to her and started harassing her right then and there, right in front of your eyes, your instincts tell you to get in there and protect her. Even if you don't even know her, your instincts tell you to go in and defend her. It is due diligence. It is the very thing that has kept us going as a society to this day. That's why we have that. That's why there's literally a law that states that, sorry.
Oh, God. It got too real. Hold on.
That's why there's literally a law that states that it is highly suggested if a citizen sees that somebody is being attacked, then they are allowed to do whatever they can to defend that person. That means if somebody is getting assaulted, you are allowed to be physical with the assaulter to get them to stop.
Yeah.
Because naturally, we want to defend people. We want to protect others. As men, we want to protect and provide. So if she ever says disrespectful stuff like that, it's because she's gotten too comfortable in the relationship and she believes that she can do those things. The last and third thing when it comes to being too comfortable is that she starts to get lazy, really lazy. And you may have heard these jokes on like sitcoms and stuff. Like, honey, you never make steaks anymore or something. I don't know, something silly like that. Or honey, you never do this anymore. Or honey, when we're in bed, you never do this anymore. Or honey, you never make this for me anymore. She's gotten lazy. Call her out on it. Call her out.
Absolutely.
You need to be at a point, and fellas, this is gonna sound hard, but you need to do it. We live in a world now where we can't bend under the thumb anymore. You need to do it. You need to be at a level where if you wind up in a relationship and it starts to get within this level, call it out and tell the alternatives. We need to stop. You need to stop this now, or we are done. Period. It sounds very harsh. I understand that.
Well, I mean, it goes back to the decisiveness, bingo.
It goes back to the decisiveness. You need to do this. I am unhappy with how you did this. If I'm doing something that is problematic, I will talk with you in private and we can work on it together. But if that's something that happens, then you need to not do that in front of our friends, our peers, or our family, or this is done. I cannot continue this. So even say, I cannot continue this with you any further. Because when you do that, one, it shows that it shows that you're being honest. Because some men, what they go around and do is they do some shit behind a woman's back, or they'll cheat, or they'll do some fucked up shit. You never want to be in that position. You never want to do that.
Yeah.
You never want to do that. You're being honest. Change this or this happens.
Right.
change this or this happens.
I want to.
2, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just want to hit the other questions too, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. 2, this shows that you are decisive, and 3, this shows to her that, oh, this is I chose the wrong man. I mean, like, not the wrong man. I chose the right man. I'm not gonna sit up here and be disrespectful like this anymore. I need to better myself so that he can better himself, so that we can better ourselves. Go ahead with the next question.
The next question's from Nessa. So, how would you feel if the woman makes more money than the man? Is that a deal breaker? Now, this one's kind of me and Tyrone have different thoughts on this.
We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, we did. I don't think you were in the call, but we did talk about this. So I'll give my thoughts and then I'll let Tyrone give his thoughts. I personally am not against a woman making more money than me, but there is an inherent fear behind the woman making more money because some women feel like they need to carry what they consider male or masculine energy when they make the more. Essentially, how the argument is always, if the man makes more money, he gets to dictate things in the relationship. A woman essentially will take that energy and apply it to when she makes more money. And to me, the core of the issue is nobody should be doing it to that degree. Like it should never feel like if you make the most money, you are now the dictator in the household. Especially if the woman is still on that whole I make more money, but like I'm still paying, the guy's still paying for everything. So I'm not against a woman making more money, but I am cautious because some women don't understand how you're supposed to be in a relationship with a person, regardless of the finance. As long as we're contributing the same, that to me, that's what matters. But I feel like some women don't understand how to properly act just because they have the more money. And because my thing is, if you pick me and I picked you, you shouldn't be throwing how much I make back in my face, especially if we're living comfortably. But yeah, go ahead, Tara.
This question's definitely has layers, but if I had to give it a flat answer, for me, I would definitely prefer to make more money. And that's not like a level of dictatorship or control. It's just if I make more money, I will make sure that it's my civic duty to make sure that that money is being used specifically for the household. And that's not to say that the woman won't. It's just with me, the only way I can possibly say that it would be okay for me to date a woman that makes more money than me is if she's extremely humble.
Yeah.
Which goes into what the 4 heavenly H's that I said. Is if she is extremely humble and realizes that and still relies on me as a protector. Because at that point, that's mostly that would be my primary role at that point, is to be the protector, to be the one to defend her against all threats, to make sure that I am the one that can decide what's going on in our relationship. And it's very much harder to do that if she's paying for majority of it. And that's not because some people are under the idea of equality where it's like, okay, we can split it and everything will be hunky-dory. That's great, but I can already see the potentials in it. And I'm going off probability and not possibility. Possibility, yes. A utopian world can exist where everybody pays 50-50 on everything and everybody lives happily ever after. Probability-wise, though, I've used the couch analogy a lot in former streams that I've done on my Twitch channel, is where if I pay for 50% of the couch, right? If I buy a couch and I pay for 50% of it, so the couch is $500 and I pay for $250 of it, and they pay $250 of it. And then I said we put the couch in the living room or whatever, and somebody puts their feet up on the couch, and I'm like, hey, may you please get your feet off my couch, please? I just don't like your feet being on my couch. Well, then the woman can go, he can put his feet up on the couch. He goes, no, it's my couch. I want them to not put it. And she goes, well, it's my couch too. And I said that he can put it. You see the argument? You see the argument that's already formed from this situation? Mm-hmm. Now, rewind it. Let's say I paid for 100% of that couch. All $500 going into that couch, it's mine. There is no argument anymore. You've mitigated an argument. Please get your feet off the couch. Well, can he? No, he can't. I paid for the whole couch. Get your feet off of it. No argument, no fuss, no muss. It sounds, again, dictative, but it is decisive, and it's doing it for the idea of longevity. like whenever you want to make decisive decisions, and I want to point this out now before people get the wrong idea that, oh, well, you just want to be bossy, you want to be a dictator, you want to be controlling. It's got nothing to do with being controlling. There are good leaders and there are bad leaders. There are bad leaders who just like having the power and like running people and treating people like what I said before, like meat, like cattle. Like they're nothing more than, oh, women should just do what I say because I'm the man and I have a lot of money. No, that's not the case at all. It's you want your woman to be your support because you want to be a good leader to provide for her. You want to create a safe, longevity, resourceful environment for her so that when you guys eventually do make a family, or even if you don't have a family, if you just have like a couple of pets or whatever in a big house, you want to make sure that you all are in the kingdom that makes you both happy. And the only way to do that is to be a strong, decisive leader. You're not making these decisions just to tell her what to do. You're making these decisions with her and the rest of your future in mind. Let's say, go ahead.
I was going to say, it kind of leads into the other question that came up, which is, and it might go into your next point anyway.
Yeah, go for it.
It's from a Revolver who says, what can men and women both do to be better communicators, to be better to understand each other?
Right. Okay. So, yeah, that does flow into what I was saying. I think the problem is that, and I hear a lot of people say this all the time, that was the 1950s, or the way you're thinking is, oh, it's so old and traditional, which I find ironic because people still like gentlemen, and gentlemen are traditional. But yes, it's an old mindset, but the reason it's an old mindset and it has that level of discipline doesn't mean that it can't adapt either. We've updated this on several different levels to adjust for what's going on. Nobody ever said that lifestyle that we're choosing or we're talking about has to be stuck in this one direction that seems like it's a trap for women where they're barefoot pregnant in the kitchen. That's a very extremist mindset that on what the layout of a nice nuclear household is supposed to be. Roles can come in all different forms. Like I said, I love cooking. So if I was in a relationship, I'm not expecting her to cook every fucking day because I want to cook some days. That's not what it means. What this breaks down to when it comes to communication and when it comes to these roles is that you have to be willing to accept that there has to be a leader and a support follower. There has to be. Having two leaders is not optimal. Having two people in the same, it's like, well, why does it always have to be a leader? There has to be, because without a leader, then you run into situations that cause potential difficulty and differentiation. Being a support means that even if you don't agree with it, you put enough humbleness and trust into your leader to know that they can lead the right decision. And if they can't, then obviously you are unhappy and you can leave. That is an option. No one said it wasn't. No one said you were trapped under this situation. It's just you need to realize exactly what it means to humble yourself and what it means in order to follow those guidelines. And we're not saying that it's things you have to do. This is just what you should do, highly recommended if you want to live in a household that has some level of structure. The leader can technically be anybody. Typically, it's usually men, only because men, by theory, protect and provide. That's been our goal since the beginning, and men still want to do that. But if it's not the case, hell, even for same-sex relationships, for trans, LGBTQ, all those others, there's still gonna be some level of structure. This isn't solely dominated towards one. It's just if we're talking about the men right now and like the relationship that they want to be in, genuinely straight heterosexual men want to be in a relationship where they are the leader and they can lead their own kingdom. Because at that point they can move forward with the lives and be the type of man that they want to be instead of being the man they have to be. I hate to see it, but I see some men unfortunately settling. You know these types of relationships, but it's like, I went with this woman for the basics. She kind of likes me, or at least I was her third pick or her fourth pick. She wants me. She doesn't need me. So we're together. But unfortunately, every time I get home, I get nagged at because I didn't do this generic chore that she told me to do. And because the wife isn't getting what she wants, she runs the household, which means I got to be miserable. And I got to look at my son and go, don't get married. It's a trap. Like, you see these men in sitcoms all the time. This blatant, disrespectful level of demasculinity that has happened, that is entertained for no other reason than, well, men ain't shit, but we got to get them together because we're women and we can do that. No. Never be the last choice. Never be the Midas Wells. Never be the, oh, I wanted him, so we decided to settle down. No. Be the, I know he is going to be the man that I trust to carry on my family, and I need him, so I'll do what has to be done in order to make sure that our family stays together. Because when you're that person, then the man mindset will be, this woman has done everything she does in order to let me know that I, as a man, am a protector and a provider and a leader. She trusts me, and thus, because she trusts me and she appreciates me, as a man, I'm going to do the best I can in order to provide a better living situation for her, to make her feel comfortable, to take her out on those dates that we both want to go to take her out on those trips that we can, because I can provide those things now because she's given me the backing resource I need in order to do that for her. It's still a win-win for both sides. I think the problem is that people always default to the negatives. They always default to the negatives. And when they always default to the negative, they go, well, men can be controlling, and once they're controlling, they can also be abusive, and then men can do this and that. And you're looking at literally the worst possible scenarios. And if you're looking for the worst possible scenarios, you're going to get the worst possible results every time. That's why I hate when women sit up there and go, every man I date ain't shit. You picked them. So what does that mean?
Because we're the one asking you. You're the one deciding whether or not you want to go out with us or not.
Exactly. We're the ones going, do you want to be my girlfriend? Do you want to be my wife? And you're sitting up there going, okay. And then you complain about it.
And I do want to acknowledge that, because as we've noticed, women are different now than they were back in the day. So are men. And I feel like it's a lack of understanding between the genders and the changes we're both going through. Because men are learning how to be properly vulnerable with people, and women are learning are trying not to get a power trip, although a lot of them, and I mean a lot of them have, because it's the difference between being empowered and being on a power trip. Being empowered means that you are comfortable and you can be strong in your own way. A power trip is you abusing that power and taking advantage of others or putting others down because of your perceived assumption of how this works. And I think what it is that a lot of women looked at the toxic men in their relationships as the basis for how to act in these situations. And the problem with that is you're now going into your new relationship with this toxic thought process and mindset, and all of a sudden, surprise, the things aren't going the way you thought they were, and you don't feel any happier. Well, because you were learning from a ripped book that was missing like half its pages from the very beginning. And it doesn't ever get better until you recognize you have a bad edition. You need to go to the library and get a new book that's properly got all of its pages and study from that. Then only then can you then go into a new relationship and go, this is how it's supposed to work. Because not every relationship is going to be the way Tyrone described it, where it's the masculine man and the feminine woman, and the man leads and the woman follows. Nowadays there are perfectly functioning relationships with dominant women. Well, let's say dominant women,
and they've made their choices.
But see, that works because they both agreed to the roles they're in, and they're both happy in those roles.
Exactly. They've made their choices. The reason I'm saying this for us as men is because not every man is going to be alpha or be a man that is standing on some level of principle and standard. But you should always aim to be the best person you can be to get the best results. And that's the genuine standpoint of what I believe is that you should do. And I'm basing this off of my own life experiences. I used to live under that mindset where, oh, if I do everything for the woman, then everything will be okay, and they don't have to do anything for me. I'll do everything for them, and I'll fight my ass off in order to make sure that every woman in my life is happy. And there's a such thing as being a gentleman, and then there's a such thing as being a simp, and the line teeters. The line teeters always.
You can be agreeable without being a pushover.
Yeah, I like, even with all of what I said today, I still believe that like we should take on responsibilities like that. Like, for example, when it comes to dinner, who should pay? I always still believe the man should pay. Well, based on the relationships that I would go through as a heterosexual male. I always believe the man should pay. I should believe the man should pay because it's our responsibility to do that. You take the good and the bad. As a gentleman, I believe that we hold the consequences of having to pay for the relationship, because if you can't afford a date, then you don't need to be on one. How is that respectful to her? Babe, can you take half of this? What if something happened in her family and she lived in you and she went on this date as a level of comfort to open up to you, and now she's got the pressure of having to pay half this fucking bill?
Now, I will say, and just to give people context, me and Tyrone don't have necessarily the same goals when it comes to like relationships. So my thought process is a little different, because a woman, to me, a woman offering to pay half is incredibly attractive for a multitude of reasons. And I think what it really needs to be understood, and it's becoming understood slowly, is that women don't understand that in the dating scene, especially in the early processes of dating, men are investing a lot off rip. And it kind of goes into why women are surprised when men cheat so easily. And I'm like, well, let's think about it. A man is investing his time, his money. He already has to put himself out there just to get your attention. He has to do all this work just for you to go out with him. And even on the dates, he's the one that has to push everything, because you're not paying for nothing. You don't want no broke man. He's probably driving his car, using his gas. He's the one coming up with the dates and whatnot. And these are things that obviously some men are perfectly fine doing because they just feel like that's the role they want to rock in. But on the other hand of the coin, women are realizing, man, that's a lot of money and time that a man is putting in. And then the only thing the woman's really offering is if she's likable. And at the end of it all, and then eventually it might lead to sex eventually. And they're wondering, why is it when the man leaves right after the first time they have sex, it's like, because I put in all this work and then we had sex, which was to them the goal they were working towards at least in the beginning of the relationship. And then they turned over the next morning and looked at you and went, they think about how you were the rest of the time. And they're like, yeah, you weren't really worth all that time and money. If it wasn't, now that I've accomplished the core, at least the base level goal, for me to be like, well, at least that money didn't completely go to waste. I'm like, well, why would you cheat? I'm like, because, and it's there's a YouTuber named Hot Damn I Rock who created this really good video called I'm Superman. I got to be Superman to you in the beginning of the relationship, but by the time we have sex and we've gotten to the first stage of our relationship, what have you done to make me want to stay with you? Because I've already proven myself. The fact that you having sex with me is proof enough that I've done enough to attract you and to interest you and to excite you. But the only thing you did is do the same thing any other woman can do for me, which is spread her legs. What's the different thing about you? So when a woman approaches me, or if a woman offers to pay for things, that shows me she's very much willing to put the money down and put the money where her mouth is. Like, okay, you're investing in me, I'll invest in you. I find that shit extremely attractive, because we know why, and a lot of women need to understand this. You know why men find that so attractive? Because it never happens. We're so used to being the ones using up our time and money and effort that when you find that one woman, that one woman will shoe up like 6 marks in our book. That'll turn a 4 into a 10, just or a 4 to a 9, just off of the effort. Because I'm just like, well, damn, that's so out of character. And Navy, you're right. Reciprocity matters. If you're not, to me, reciprocating my effort is a lot more appealing than you throwing your ass at me. Because like I said, I can get any woman to do. I could pay for that if I cared enough. In some cases, some men are just like, it'd be easier just to pay for sex. They think of it as more cost effective. At least I know what I'm getting when I spend the money. Versus when you take a woman out on a date, there's like a 50% chance or a 30% chance or a 20% chance you might get one of the things you want. So that's my thought process. Sorry.
No, and we can agree to disagree on that one. For me, pay for the dates. Just pay for the dates. For me is only because it gives reassurance. It gives reassurance that no matter what, she can count on you. And I want to be very clear here. These are the women that you're planning on being in a relationship with, not the women you want to have sex with. There is a huge difference. I think that we need to lay that out too. There's a difference between men who want to have sex with women and men who want to legitimately date these women. Yeah. It's up to you as a man to make sure that these dates are comfortable enough to ensure a second date and then a further relationship. And for me, the best reassurance is to go all in. It's technically a flex, but at the same time, this is just to show that, hey, I am a leader. This isn't your battle to worry about. I have gone through the work. I've gone through the mud. I've gone through the saving of the money. I've done everything I need to do to be your provider. I am proving myself right now to show that as time passes, I will provide for you more. This is one of those examples, is me showing leadership and paying for the day. A woman, for that same merit, it's not even just sex. It can literally just be a level of interest, texting you back, appreciating the date that you gave her, saying yes to a second date, obviously when you announce it. These very things, not putting it off, showing genuine appreciation for you. These things come with that as well too. And it shows that she'll be a lot more dependent in that idea. It shows that you're serious. It shows that you're not going to be at that level where it's like, you got half of this, right? Like, again, you could catch a woman at a wrong time and something could happen to her very terribly. And this date was just something she needed to blow off some steam. And unfortunately, now she's pressured to have to pay for a dinner that she probably couldn't afford to buy right now because of her circumstance that you don't know about. Or the date isn't meant for all that. The date is to assure, hey, I got this. This is on me. And then that can in turn lead to a level of open-handedness. And obviously, for men, you're not going around trying to go all in on every date you go on, because you're not going to be going around having dates all over the fucking place. You generally want to make sure that your resources are up. That means save your money, be financially invested. And I should have added that to the tips for men, but I think that can go into be decisive, because it shows that you have responsibility. Also, it goes into never be a chaser, because you're not spending your money on all these women. You're not chasing all these women. You're taking the time to wait until you have the resources to provide for this woman first. That means typically, I would say you invest a good amount of your younger years to becoming the best at whatever you can be, so that then later when you find someone that you want, then you can proceed to date that person. Because the sad part is that we as men at a young age, we're sexually driven, and unfortunately our sexuality and our drive to be lustful can sometimes mix into our desire to be in a relationship. Especially in high school, it gets very pressuring to look around and see that like there's relationships and couples around you and you're single. Yeah. So I can see where the pressure comes on. But genuinely as men, our goal is to do that, like pursuit. Now, for men, this actually works out, because then we're goal getters. Oh, and when we're goal getters, women are attracted to goal getters. Women are attracted to men who have a future, who are aiming to do something. So when you start off at like 18, you ain't got shit. As a man, you have nothing of value, nothing really important of value at least. But by the time you hit age 30, 32, 33, you're starting to get those values more. And at that point, you'll start realizing the women that like you for, yes, the value that you have, but also the fact that you've carried yourself as a goal getter leader up to that point, which is why I personally have said, no, I'll pay for the dinners, because paying for the dinners will ensure that you are being that leader. Do we have any other questions or?
I didn't see anything. Let me check. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think Goggle just put one. Hold on, let me put it on here.
Did Goggles put a question? Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Select.
Yeah, I think there's one.
This is something that I've been thinking. What's not a good place for a first date?
What the not a good place? The club or the bar? The club or the bar is a terrible place for a date. You don't want to go to a club or bar. The bar is just a lot. The bar is just too much. Unless it's one of those arcade bars. Like, you know, the ones with the video games and the bar connected as one.
Yeah.
Bars feel very like standard. It's like you buy somebody a drink and then you guys talk, which sounds great in and of itself, but bars have become very party oriented. They've almost become like clubs in and of themselves in some way. They're not ideal. Definitely not a club. A club, you don't have enough time to really settle down and talk. You got to talk over a bunch of noise. It's a terrible environment. I say the best. I actually wrote that down too. Holy shit.
Well played.
Well, these are actually where to ask women out at, but typically these can work. Even for starting off, asking women out. One of the best places to ask women out is at like something that shows recreational hobbyist purposes, like a bookstore, a game store, something that shows that it's a hobby, that they're there for a recreational purpose. Never try to talk to a woman at a grocery store or like at the DMV or something where something of adult matter needs to be done. And the reason I say those are terrible places is because their mind isn't fixated on getting to know you. Their mind is fixated on doing what they have to do. Whereas in like a bookstore or a video game store or something, their mind is wandering. Coffee dates, don't let people tell you that coffee dates are cheap and bad. Coffee dates aren't cheap and bad. In fact, if you are looking for just like a good date, a coffee date is a good short date that gets to let you know them a bit better and break the ice.
It's a good like intro date.
Yeah, it's definitely a good intro date. In fact, I highly recommend men to coffee date first.
By the way, if a woman's already looking down on you because you picked to have coffee with her the first time, that's already a problem.
Exactly. Absolutely. If she's like, he's too cheap, that's your challenger.
I'm like, bet. I'm like, all right, we ain't gotta go.
Yep. That's your challenger. You've already dealt with your challenger. If a woman keeps making excuses why she can't, that's your entrepreneur. If a woman says, I don't really feel like coffee right now, that's your sloth.
Yeah.
Your succubus won't go on a fucking coffee date, so you don't even need to worry about that. Or she'll go on the coffee date and post everything while you guys are at the date.
It's also good. It's a good cheap date to see what you're investing in without losing too much money.
Yeah. Another good place for a first date. Find a local restaurant that you mostly know about. A local restaurant, just something, or not even just just some place that you go to typically for fun that you genuinely like. Because if they like it too, then you've already got a good connection. This means that a place that you go to normally is now an interest for somebody else. It can be anything. Yeah, hell, it can even be like a card shop where you do locals at a tournament at a card shop, or a video game place that you go to or something. Or even I say Barnes and Noble is an excellent place to talk to women. Actually, Barnes and Noble is the place to me. Bookstores are always good because you can crack open the three what's, the how, and the why.
Yeah. Also, side note, Navy, that is a good point. You never, and this is something just to remember in general when it comes to dates.
Definitely don't go to the nines on a fucking date. On the first date.
Don't create false expectations you can't keep up. Some dudes Some dudes are so willing to show a woman how much they're willing to spend on them or so early on. You create this false expectation. So as the further relationship goes, financially, there's just no way you can keep it up. Actually, that was a good line I've heard a woman say to a man once was, "Don't start anything you're not going to maintain." If you,
But
if
yeah,
you,
don't sign a check you can't cash. Absolutely not. There's this local bar slash arcade that I go to called Up Down. Uh, Typically I would say that's a good start because it's not expensive at all. Pop in $20, you get like a bunch of tokens. The food there is limited to mostly pizzas, and they don't cost a lot either. And then the drinks, that's your choice if you want to go buy drinks, which drinks at bars are kind of expensive, but you can still make the choice whether or not you want to do that. Typically, you can even go out of there not spending a lot of money, but don't go to like the Le Grand Crayon or some shit. I made that up. Please don't look it up. The Grand Crayon.
no, how, do I spell it with the saliva or without it? Because I feel like I might need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Goggles, I would reel back Dave and Buster's. Dave and Buster's is a second date. That's not a first date. Dave and Buster's is kind of expensive.
That means you at least like her enough to spend the money on her if you took her to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, go to some place that literally costs not a lot and doesn't even take up like a lot of time. But don't take her to the Le Clan d'Eon and she buys the Ebonish, the Huspa Ebonish Eskakish, and it costs like fucking $100 just to look at it on the menu. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that at all. And then she goes, I really don't feel like getting into anything too serious. Well, congratulations, partner. You just spent $300 for no reason. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, again, that bookstore thing's really good because it really like you can literally go be in an aisle. Because like I said, don't chase, but don't ignore women either. You can bring up conversation. You just have to be subtle about it. You can be in literally like the best place to date is Taco Bell.
Cosmic, no.
Cosmic,
Cosmic, you wouldn't leave. Cosmic, you barely leave your house. You're a bad example.
You're Cosmic. You are a very rare anomaly, and you are not to be used for any examples that I state.
Yeah, unfortunately, quirky women are hard to categorize because they're quirky, and that means they do things that aren't really considered traditional. The reality is that we can only really do generalizations here because that's the easiest.
Yeah, we're not painting in broad strokes.
You can easily end up in a weird situation where you're at a fucking McDonald's and for some reason the lady in front of you decided to pay for your drink. And you're like, hold up, we need to talk real quick. And that turns into something else. Yeah. That's not a normal situation. That doesn't traditionally happen.
Yeah, that's a possibility. We're talking about probability.
There we go. That's exactly it is.
Yeah, and like again, excuse me. The reason I say that is because a lot of this also comes to that thing where it's like, well, you said don't be a chaser. Does that mean ignore women at all costs? No, don't treat them like they're the fucking plague or anything. You can start up conversation. It has to be at a level of comfortability to where it's sensible. I think the problem is a lot of these guys come at it the wrong way where they literally walk up to women and just start bombarding them with like a bunch of stuff, and it's intimidating. Whereas like you see a woman at a bookstore, you two happen to be in the same aisle, you see that she's picking a book. Even if you're not interested in the book, guys, just play along. What got you interested in that book? Or, ooh, what's that book about? Oh, what got you into reading a book like that? Oh, what do you recommend I do if I were to try to read this? Or what do you recommend if I were to start reading this book? Because there's a series? Okay. How can I go about collecting the series? Okay. Why did you start reading these books? She's opening up. The 3 what's, the how, and the why are the best opener you've got. And then after that, cut it. Don't keep it going, because then you're a talkative bastard. Cut it.
Why I got to be a bastard, though? I mean, I understand being talkative. I don't want to be a bastard.
Yeah, but after that, cut it. Okay, that's awesome. I really appreciate that suggestion. Give her a compliment. By the way, you're this. And then leave.
Because if she's interested, she'll try to pursue the conversation.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But if she's not interested, then it'll literally be it. But hey, you've made a nice impression, and you haven't come off as overbearing or aggressive.
Prince already beat me to it. Yeah, the 3 what's, the how, and the why. Let the woman talk, and women love to talk. So there you go, Prince. You already cracked the code. Because
Well,
you'll
he
realize this very quickly. If a conversation goes longer than about 5 minutes, we'll say about 7. 7's a good number. If a conversation goes longer than about 7 minutes, it means she's interested enough to you to
engage you.
Yeah, to engage you. And at that point, you've won.
But if you've been talking for if you've been talking 7 minutes, that means, well,
she'll go, yeah, 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 totally. Yeah, well, okay, that's great. So I have to go to.
Most guys are a paradox. Like when it comes to talking,
Yeah.
most guys can talk up a storm with their friends, but when around women, they usually end up letting the women talk, partially because it's to their own benefit, and two, because women like to do it anyway. So it's kind of a double win for you either way. Just know how to use it. You still have to engage them. You still gotta get them started, and you still gotta throw in some quick things.
I typically go in with, this is a fucked up technique, but I'll give it a swing. I give the complimentary assumption. Oh, this tactic is evil because, well, not evil. It just works a lot more than it should. The complimentary assumption is, let's use our bookstore example. Oh yeah, that is a nice book. Yeah, you seem like you'd be very knowledgeable about that typical subject. So what type of subjects do you normally do? You seem to look like but it's a compliment that you're very knowledgeable about. You haven't insulted her. You've made an assumption. This gets her feeling validated. Oh, wait, I'm a what? I do what now?
We're rolling out that line.
Hold up. You said I'm knowledgeable? You thought that I was knowledgeable?
Gotcha, bitch.
Because what it does, look. Some women make the complaint, oh, men only see us for our bodies. When you say that, it looks like you've made this assumption. You've gone in, you've made an assumption about her knowledge to a positive standpoint. And when you do that, he's looking at me for more than my looks. He actually respects me as an individual and my personality. He says that I'm knowledgeable. And then when he asks me the question, I need to be knowledgeable. He assumed that. Well, so boom, now it's coming out. It's out. It's out now.
I've snagged you. I've snagged you in my web.
You got every amount of knowledge you need now. It can all come out now. You snagged that shit.
Now, we did get another question.
Go for it.
Tara, I know, and this is important because we've been talking about like the direct interaction, but the question was from Omar, any tips for online dating?
Ooh, online dating. Online dating is tricky because there's this thing that a lot of men probably face, and men in the chat, go ahead and shout out if this happens. The biggest problem we run into is being ghosted.
Oh, sorry.
It's being ghosted. Typically, women are approached online a lot more than men are, like by a 90% scale. In fact, if you look at it, the average man gets 10 likes on Tinder, where the average woman gets 99 plus. Yeah. The way to figure out the likes that you have is at the very bottom corner of your app, where it'll show you in a gold star how many people like you. The number for men is usually a single-digit number or a double-digit number that's countable, feasible. The number for women is usually 99 plus, meaning there are more than 100 men willing to talk to this woman. I can tell you right now, just off of that 99 plus, I can say that about 55 to 60% of those men want to have sex, while 40 to 35% of those men want a genuine relationship and a chance to talk. But unfortunately, because online dating puts them all in the exact same scale, women typically ignore the 99 plus because they know full well that most men only want that one thing. So just using numbers alone, all those numbers that I just said in my head, typically the best thing you want to do in your profile is state those things that I stated before. And the best part, they're already on notes. Write something about yourself that you're proud of. Oh, I'm healthy, or I'm this. This shows that you're very confident, right? It shows that you're very it shows that you're very confident in yourself and it shows that you take pride in what you do. The next one is saying what you want and your profile. I'm looking for a this. Because typically most women will ask, what are you looking for on here? Put in your bio what you're looking for. If you want a girlfriend, say you're looking for a girlfriend. Hell, if you want sex, say you're looking for sex. The reason I say that is because at least you're honest. Yeah, you're going to get a lot less people talking to you, but they'll respect your honesty. I guarantee you they will. And then after that, usually when you take pictures, you make sure you are taking the best pictures you got. I always say pick 2 casuals, 2 clean casual pictures. 2 clean casual pictures, 1 picture of you dressed in the 9s, and then 1 picture of you showing off your physically fit body. That means showing that some form of athleticism, showing that, after you work out, wear a tank top and some shorts, showing something that shows you that you're at least keep up with your muscular value, that you believe in a healthy lifestyle, because it shows the other thing that I stated. As for those other 2, the casual ones are typically to show that you are a normal human being. You're not a freaking bot. And it also shows that you have a laid back side to you. The dress to the 9 one shows that you at your absolute best and your potential. This is Tyrone at 9.5 versus Tyrone at a 7. Tyrone at a 7 is nice, and if you pursue that, you will get Tyrone 9.5 later. It gives a solid goal to what you're looking for. When it comes to dating, do not say these 3 fucking texts, because I hear them all the time and it pisses women off. Don't text hey. Don't text her first and then text freaking hey. It's a basic ass intro. Stop that shit. Women respect men who exercise their vocabulary. Find something. If you can't put in the effort in order to make a creative introduction text, then you don't need to be online dating. Period. 2, what you doing, or WID. Don't. This makes you sound like all you really wanted was sex in the first place.
So I guess what you're wearing is it's off the table.
Well, shut up.
I'm just saying.
No. Don't text what you doing. It's stupid. What do you expect somebody to say to what you doing?
What if she texts me what you doing?
Most people aren't going to reveal all their hobbies in front of you on the first try. How the freak do you expect them to sit up there and say, oh, I'm doing this, and this in perfect detail? Absolutely not. Whenever you ask somebody something on online dating, stop and ask yourself, would I ask myself these questions if I knew me first? Or trying to get to know me? No.
Yeah, but you also wouldn't try to suck your own dick either. So I mean, I don't think it's the same goal.
This is why you're in the student desk and I'm in the teachers.
I invited you here though.
But third, last but not least, sup.
Well, to me, that's the same. That's just hi, but in a different way.
No. Sup is douchebag talk. Sup is, I'm not putting in any effort here to be any type of opening to you. At least the show is generic enough to where it might genuinely come off as a respectable conversation, and these people just don't know how to intro. Sup means I've gone through all the words that I could say, and I've come up at sup. You landed on sup. Would you want somebody to say sup to you?
Listen, guys just be happy if you get a response at all, okay? Unfortunately, the bar for a woman's introduction to a man is much lower, and here's the reason why. Because it never happens. So
definitely.
A reason why a woman's standard for how you intro a conversation is so high is because girls constantly get hit on. Women are constantly getting asked out by any and every type of guy, girl, and whatever's in between. And because of that, they've heard it all numerous times. The 3 you mentioned are the most common things that happen. That's why they hate them, because they hear it on a daily basis. Guys,
here's an alternative one. I just didn't put it in because rule of three. How's it going? How's it going sucks. How's it going? All how's it going turns into, and this is 95% of the time, is good. How about you? We've gone nowhere. We're back to where we were. What the fuck do you expect her to say?
No, let me. All right, I did get one interesting hit on Tinder that messed me up though. So I put out my Tinder profile, everything, and I went through. Also, as guys, I think the agreement is, I think we've universally agreed, you just hit like on every girl because realistically, you have like a 1% chance of them responding back anyway. So you just hit like on everyone and just see who responds. I got one girl to respond, and she responded with a more unique statement. She asked me, PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, and as the question. The only problem I had with that statement was, well, I play Nintendo in my bio, so why you asking me about PlayStation and Xbox for? Now,
She wasn't paying attention to your bio.
well, exactly, absolutely, and see, that's the pickiness a woman would have. So I guess the way you look at it is, if that kind of non-consideration bothers you, then don't be that guy when messaging a woman.
Now I approach things in a humor factor, so I would have said none of them. Atari's the best. Get with it.
Of course. That's
Get
why.
with it. I would have said, get with it, you fucking millennial. See, but no, even that guy that made you laugh, more than likely, if she's a gamer or whatever, then she'll laugh, and you've already opened it up. You've already won.
Well,
As far as I'm concerned, this is a victory lap.
Her laughing would have just turned into this statement. My son loves those games. Oh. Ooh.
Well, I'm not.
Now listen. Every guy has their standards.
Yeah.
But if you're a single, able-bodied guy that ain't got no kids or no baggage or no like diseases or anything, you probably aren't defaulting to single mothers. But just know there are a lot, and I mean a lot.
And I want to clarify this too, because this goes into that be decisive tips for men that I said. Man, it is okay to have your preferences. It is okay. Do not let anything this chat has said, do not let anything that other people say deter you away from you being able to have your preference. The reason I press this for men specifically is because men are punished daily for having preferences and what type of men they want to date. Do not let anyone tell you you can't have preferences. You want to know why they do that? This is another form of tactic known as controlling, which is a challenger trait, by the way. Pay attention. It's a challenger trait that's used mostly to make a man feel bad for his choice so that he can conform to a choice that more fits the woman that is currently arguing with you. Why do you like women that are only this? That seems shallow to... I see. You're not that woman, and thus you don't qualify, and you're salty. You can't compete. That's all it means. That's all it means. Because honestly, if you have your own preference and it's not that woman, then she shouldn't be worried about it. Why? Because it doesn't pertain to her. If I say it, I only date women that are 4'11". I'll say you just want troll looking women. Yep, you're just mad because you're 6'7". And I wasn't talking to you then. So no. Again, I will say my preferences. Well, whatever, you're just gonna wind up, okay, thank you. Goodbye. Next. Because if you don't fit the bill, someone will. And I didn't even mean for that to rhyme. That was just me talking.
I'm ahead.
That was me talking.
That was all plotted.
No, it wasn't. I didn't write that down.
He's like, look.
That's not on these notes.
Oh, he's like, look at me. Look how better I am than you. See this chiseled jawline?
The average person lives all the way up to about age 70 to 80. Women outnumber men 4-1. And the world is full of 9 billion people. Fellas, numbers in our favor. The numbers are in our favor. If they don't fit the bill, Someone will.
All right, now he's having too much fun with it.
I'm dead serious.
No.
Because-
I'm not.
Yeah, because if you think that's wrong, most females do this shit all the time. This isn't just something that only men do. Women have standards all the time of what they want, and theirs are more harsh. If a guy says I don't want a woman that's overweight, then he is just, oh, that's body negativity and you're shaming and you're body shaming and blah 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 blah. There are women legitimately that say I want a man that is taller than me. Well, what can you fix? Can you fix weight? If you are obese, can you eat healthier, exercise, and become skinnier?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can get a surgery if you really wanted to.
But what can you do about being short?
They can't add bone
Not
to
a
my kneecaps.
goddamn thing. No, and I'm talking something that's reasonable that won't put your body in future harm. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing.
Y'all wear platform shoes?
Why do you think the core features that women say are tall, dark, and handsome? Well, okay, if you're short, you're out. If you're light, you're out. If you're ugly, I guess you're out, but
Yeah, you mean you can't really change your appearance all the way.
your bone structures in your face.
Yeah,
right.
like because if you're skinny and you're ugly, like that, I mean, there's not a lot you can do.
Right. I'm just saying, my thing is never get mad at the preferences that you have. Always, fellas, you can have your preferences. Now, at the same time, you can have your preferences, but you need to put in the work. Don't stop there and think, I can fucking sit in my grandma's basement, live in my grandma's basement all day, play video games, eat fucking Cheetos, and smoke weed or whatever, and sit on my ass and not have a job and go, I deserve to date a woman that's as fine looking as Beyonce. Bullshit. No, you don't.
Beyonce shouldn't be dating Beyonce. The fuck?
So, yeah, that's bullshit. You can, no, man, you can have your preferences, but don't let that be the green light for you to just sit up there and say, I want a woman that's this, and not be prepared to put in the effort. Not prepared to be a non-chaser. Not prepared to be unhygienic. Or prepared to be unhygienic. Or you want to not be fit. Or you want to not be decisive. So you want to lack all the tips from men, but you don't want to sit up there and but you want to have the highest standard? Absolutely not.
You gotta be willing to put in the work.
You got to put in the work. If you choose a preference, then you got to do the effort needed in order to fit that preference. If your preference is I like women that are super lazy and fat, then your chances are good if you eat a lot of junk food and be lazy too.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, that would still hurt your chances because nobody wants to have two of a negative trait.
Absolutely.
But my point being is never falter on your preference and never make anybody feel bad about your preference. If somebody ever comments on, you only preference that, unless your preference is basically illegal, then never be ashamed of your preference unless it's illegal. So yeah, no illegal shit. I'm not promoting illegal shit.
Well, yeah, of course.
But I'm saying if you have a preference, don't let others get mad at you for that preference. Zach Pokemaster said probably need a woman who can cook. If your preference is a woman that can cook, that is absolutely fine. You are not a misogynist for that. You just like good food. You are not a bad person for wanting a woman who can cook. Stop letting people tell you that. Don't let people tell you that.
Your bro, the problems are on. No, man, I just want someone who can make me chicken.
Exactly. Don't let people tell you that. You like food.
Please and thank you.
You like food. So if you prefer a woman that can cook, that's absolutely great. There's nothing wrong with that. Because that is your preference. Nobody has the right to take away the things that you like. And it's a preference. It's not a law. You're not pointing up to every girl who you go on a date with and go, you need to learn how to cook right now or you fucking die, bitch. If she can't cook, go, okay, this has been nice, and move on.
Make me a sandwich, you're fucking dead.
Okay, this was nice. I'm sorry, you're just not who I'm looking for right now. Women say this shit to us every day. Every day. There is so many men, there are so many good men out there who may not fit the bill of this one category, and then women will say things like, "Oh, it just isn't what I was looking for right now," or "Oh, you're just not who I'm feeling out right now." Or the new one, I hate this one. The vibe wasn't there. Shut the.
What if I need a vibe check, huh? What if I?
Oh my God, give me 5. It's a vibe. Like they do this shit all the time to us. Please don't sit up here and let their bad behavior be justifiable for nothing more than we can do it. They've done it to us. Sit up there and say, "Oh well, what?" Like, and I hear this comment every time I make this. I hear so many people. I've heard it recently, but I won't call it out.
Hey, relax. Hey,
yeah,
hey, man.
But I hear this a lot with the men do it too. This shit. Oh boy, shit.
I'm gonna keep this simple. Just because
that's another challenger trait.
Well, that's the obvious. But my thing is this: if I do a bad thing and you do a bad thing, it doesn't necessarily make it's not, for one, just because I do a bad thing doesn't mean you should then contribute by doing the same bad thing. Like, if it's a bad thing, it's a bad thing, which means nobody should do it.
No, scratch that. Not even if it's a bad thing. Even if it's a good thing, you have to realize that context is important. And the thing that I do could be right, could be wrong for you. That's like, again, we'll go back to our dog example. I want a dog. Okay. Do you know how to feed a dog? I don't know how to feed a dog, but I like to eat dog food and drink out of bowls too. What the fuck does that mean?
I think it's a euphemism for sex, right? Or is that not?
What? Men can go out and have all these goal-oriented, but if I be too goal-oriented, then I just won't get the man. How come? We're both doing the same thing. We can both be bosses.
No.
But that's not gonna work.
No. Oh, revolver. Hey, yo, relax. All right, now listen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit about, I think we're at 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
We need. It is a weeknight, and I know there's more conversation to be had.
Yeah.
But we need to get out of here respectfully because we both have jobs, and we both have other commitments. So
right.
I do want to just openly say I appreciate Tyrone for coming on and sharing his wisdom. Obviously, the playback will be available for you guys who don't catch this live on the channel. So if you want to watch it, it will be available to watch. Once again, I do want to thank Prince Revolver and Navy Blue Sweet Coon for the donations. Tyrone, I guess, give them where they can catch you.
Oh yeah. So to see none of this content, you can.
Oh no!
No, seriously. To catch a lot of my stuff, because I typically do gamers conversation. I do gamer related stuff, and also anti-poke stuff on the side too. That's all on my YouTube channel, Tyrone TG3. You'll find it on that. The Tyrone TG3 is my YouTube channel where you'll find all of our let's plays, our playthroughs, play commentaries, as well as discussions about the anti-poke stuff, as well as just discussions in general about anime and video game culture. I typically do streams on Twitch. Twitch is where I spend most of my time, and that is also Tyrone_TG3. That's Tyrone_TG3. Thank you, Zach, for the $2.
Thank you for Zach for $2.
So you'll find me on that, where I do Pokemon VGC streams, as well as currently I'm doing dating sim stuff because Valentine's is the month of Valentine's, and then which is tomorrow I'll be doing Tricolor Love Story, so make sure you check that out. And then I'm also doing discussions in a similar vein, but they mostly tend to a broadened societal discussion, which is Tyrone TG3 Roundtable, which is the TG3 Roundtable. But we also do fun stuff on the TG3 Roundtable as well too. Like we do we'll do reactions to 80s commercials, or fun, just little other topics as well, just to talk about and have deep-rooted discussion about, as well as healthy debate and healthy discourse. So I talk about a lot of things, but those are the main things you're going to catch me talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my stuff. And then obviously, if you want to know about those announcements ahead of time, you can check out my Twitter, which is also Tyrone TG3. So all things, you just go to Tyrone TG3 or Tyrone_TG3, and you'll be able to find my content.
And
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll put that in the description once the video's uploaded after the stream ends. So if in case you guys can't find it, I'll link it.
Yeah, yeah. Now to give just a final send off thought to the men here that have been watching this in order to learn a little bit more about the dating culture and the relationship culture. I want to hammer this in before there's any backlash about it as it ages. We as men need to respect women. Like that's not like, but
I guess.
Shut up, Terrell. We do need to respect women, but let's not. But respecting women and allowing bad behavior are two completely different things. All right? We have very much gone into this thing where it's like I said, the chasers, the simps, the ones that give all this money to the OnlyFans models, they are the ones that are promoting this bad behavior. And it's like let's be honest. Think about it in a woman's shoes for a second. If she's being promiscuous and she's going out there showing her asshole to everybody online, and you're giving her $1,000, yeah, her whole asshole.
Damn.
If she's showing her booty hole to the entire online community and getting paid $1,000 to do it, I mean, if you were a woman in that situation, would you pass it up? More than likely not. So where do you think this all starts?
With you and me.
It starts with us. We as men, we got to stop giving this validation where validation's not necessary. We need to stop constantly praising every step a woman takes. I'm not saying be mean to women. I'm saying just know that you can't overly obsess over them to the point where you're nothing more than just a sheep. You got to stand on your own 2 feet and walk on your own and go your own way first, and eventually they will follow. I've seen it ironically. This is so funny to me, is that I mentioned the Me Too movement earlier. A lot of these men were either getting canceled or getting fired from their jobs because they were getting false harassment charges for simply talking to a woman or shaking her hand or something at work. So after a couple of years of that Me Too stuff happening, what men started doing was they started ignoring women. And the reason this was so funny is because these men were ignoring women at work. And when they were ignoring women at work, the women got upset by getting ignored at work. These women would post videos after work going, when I go to work, I feel like I'm invisible to most men. And I just don't feel like I'm attractive to men because men don't look at me like that. No, it's because we don't want to get fired.
Or go to jail.
And because we don't want to risk that, look what we've gotten ourselves into. Fellas, lead your own way, build your castle, and the people will come. Don't keep chasing. If a peasant keeps looking for someone, they'll wind up constantly looking. But if a king builds his kingdom, the people will come. So yeah.
Is that a Moses quote? It feels like a Moses or a Noah's Ark thing.
It might be. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We don't read the Bible.
Bottom line is, focus on being the best man you can be, and then when you find the right woman, she Terrell, I know I stuttered over my words and it sounded like something else.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
But be goal oriented and follow your own path first. Don't worry about that. And then when the right one comes, she will come. Trust me. Like she usually will line up to something that you are already doing, whether it be like wanting to start a video business or wanting to start like being a camera person, photographer. Like I've seen it all the time. Top photographers will be hired and take pictures, and then like a lot of females love hiring photographers because they want the good pictures. And then they end up meeting the females there, and they're like, "Oh, how did you meet her? Oh, she was my client." And then boom, It always falls in line with your goals. It always will, always has. But you got to have the goal first. If you're chasing something with nothing, then you're nothing. If you try to fish with no bait, then you're just fishing, and that shit ain't gonna work. So yeah, that's my bottom line. Be a gentleman, respect women, be goal-oriented, be decisive, be a leader. And then everything else will fall in your place.
Yes,
that's pretty much it.
Thank you. We appreciate the teachings and the word. We appreciate the views. We essentially stayed above 20 almost the entire stream.
Yeah, it was consistent.
In the latter half of it, it almost got up to 30. So I very much appreciate this, guys. Appreciate the support. There will be more interesting collaborations coming. And obviously, y'all should know Tyrone has never been a stranger on this channel. I mean, it's been a minute since the last major collab we've done, but he's never been a stranger on the channel. So this is not the last you'll see on him on the channel. And we may we might come back and do some other stuff later. But for now, we figured on Valentine's Day it was important that the fellas got to hear something, because let's be real here. Unfortunately, this day is more catered towards women, and I feel like that doesn't mean the men should be neglected. So that I hope you got something out of this. I hope you learned something, and if nothing else, I hope you enjoyed yourself and you were entertained by the educational antics of Professor TG3 here. This is one of the few streams you will ever hear me be this quiet, because I was trying to let him cook. And I almost burnt the whole damn kitchen. It was too much smoke in here. I wasn't ready.
They said next time you should have a girl on. Have a girl give dating tips.
Oh Lord, that is definitely an option.
Not all, but a large chunk of girls give the worst.
Oh, hey, all right. Listen. All right, listen. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the love and support. The next stream for me.
I made sure to say not all.
Listen, the next stream for me is tomorrow. We're going back into the world of One Piece, Odyssey, and then Friday we're doing another YouTube stream. This is gonna be another like chill podcast kind of stream. No, we finished Crisis Core last week, so that's done. Anyways, last game, play to win. Thank you guys for watching and support. Thank you, Taro, for being here. And Tom, give your exit. Give them the patent exit you usually give for your own videos.
Right. Well, that was a great discussion that we had, and I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone TG3 out.
Peace. Click. Oh shit.